On a busy afternoon here, let's jump right into a few things you need to know as we head through the final couple hours on a Tuesday afternoon. Here's Bitcoin right now, still stuck in this consolidation as we head sideways. There was this monster move down this morning. We come right back up towards 47,000 on some notes regarding some possible ETFs being launched as soon as Wednesday. It was Valkyrie this morning, if you missed it, that came out and said they're expecting maybe even Wednesday after the close, they'll get the green light, and then Thursday would be the first day of trade. So keeping an eye on all things crypto throughout the session today. It really hasn't been much more after that occurred early on this morning. Strength in healthcare. Overall, the market kind of flat here so far this afternoon. Strength in healthcare, though. Merck, 0.7. That was all-time highs for Merck. Back to the downside right now. But early on this morning, we went straight up to all-time highs. Still holding on to a decent gain, though. This group itself about break even. Depends on when you look at it. Could be positive, could be negative. There is a few that are downside. Pfizer and Amgen here, to name a few. Lilly just back to red as well. It was green early on. It's all about banks, though. Banks really offsetting strength from basically everything else. Energy a little bit weak. Tesla down better part of 3% as well. But the entire banking group in negative territory here, heading towards earnings coming up on Friday. Remember, we'll get Citigroup, Wells Fargo, BAC, JP Morgan, I believe are the four coming up on Friday in the pre-market. That'll officially kick off earnings season once again. So great to be back into earnings. NVIDIA, 2 days in a row here, just an absolute monster again today down here. 3%, looks great. AMD being dragged along with it. Intel not as much today. Broadcom positive, Apple downside, Google, Microsoft, Meta. You get the picture, all about flat. 0.27 currently for the NASDAQ. S&P basically exactly flat at this point, 0.05. Still holding on a positive territory. If you were with us early on this morning, we were touching on a whole bunch of stuff. I was keeping an eye on Microsoft here as we were heading back to day highs, at least for Microsoft. We were talking specifically those semiconductors. As we said, NVIDIA monster again today, back to the upside 2 days in a row here, all-time highs. Once again, coming off that announcement yesterday at CES, more products coming from the whole group, Intel, AMD, NVIDIA, over in Las Vegas. So good look 2 days in a row here, guys, for semis.
All right.
One semi in particular.
Yeah, well, no, both, man. I mean,
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, but
we are 10 times more in the money than AMD on NVIDIA. We have, I don't know if you've seen this before, but it's a $20 winner right now here on NVIDIA. $20. It just keeps on ripping to the high side. You always wish you didn't get out, but at least we held something here as NVIDIA just, I mean, how good is this stock here today? $20, and as we written down, we were long at 518 at one point. We were long at 520 off the sticky note there. It's an absolute beast. It's up 3.5%. Remember earlier on when we were calling this market as a possible upside, and I was like, I don't really have the gumption to turn these bears around, these bulls into bears. Well, the market was down 0.8. We're now up 1% from that bottom. And yeah, man, we've done real well holding on to this bad boy. It's NVIDIA to the upside, and then here we go again with AMD. Same thing, guys. We have 145 bottom. This should be a $4 winner, but of course we averaged into it, and now we're just upside even more. So there it is, man. The winners are here today. The thing is that I was just saying to Obi, I feel like it's been one of the easiest moves is to capture, again, to capture $20 is stupid, but to be able to be long NVIDIA and be able to hold it for at least some kind of a significant move, I think it's been the easiest because such a key level there, such a big break. And then even today to recommend, like yesterday we had 500 long. We were long right here on that move all the way up. That goes $22. Today is actually day two better than $22 right now. So it's like there was no reason, there was no catalyst to have not looked at NVIDIA and to have not thought that we could get this kind of a big move. I mean, like Neil mentioned there and like Brendan mentioned, it's happening all over the place, man. I mean, AMD, this is another big move. I'm sure if I look at Broadcom or something like that, it's probably happening.
It's not everything, but I mean,
every chip name. And then if you're looking at the banks as well, like you just mentioned that one, have the ability, guys, to flip your game over. You know, like Citigroup right there, we wanted to look short something. So we shorted Citigroup again at the pre-market levels, and then it came back there and was like, okay, we'll give it to you again. We hit it 3 times there. So Citigroup completely falling down. So it's like making money long, making money short. Just be specific with what you're doing, and hopefully we can all grow together here and just get better, right? I mean, that's what it's all about. I want to give a big shout out to Obi and to Adara for the midday show.
I think they did a fantastic job. Obi kind of finding out last minute he was going to have to come in and teach the lesson, and it just, he knocked it out of the park. I know he always gets like, oh, I don't know, I was underprepared. Dude, you did fine. Actually, I'm going to differ a little bit, because I'm going to say NVIDIA was an easier trade yesterday than today. And I'm gonna give the why. I'm not just saying that because I'm not in it. That would be the.
Then I'll just rebuttal. This is what it's about.
That's a lazy answer to say it was easy because I found an easy way in and didn't find an easy way in today. So that's a lazy answer, but I'm gonna give you somewhat of the argument for it. It's more about yesterday didn't require as much patience on the entry. Because the entry to NVIDIA when it broke 500, like it never tested you.
Today was more skill.
Right. So today was different in that you actually had to. Well, the best way to put it is it came down without actually tagging the level you might want exactly. Like it gave you some ins and outs over and over again, and then it kind of trended back into the upside. What's up with that dark pool? But you guys get the idea. You see what I'm saying? Like it got in here and then held the bottom at 18, where the key level looked like 20 to 22, and then it went. So it doesn't. It's a distinction without a difference, because oftentimes when it does eventually trend up, it starts going pretty cleanly off of those levels. But I thought there was a little bit of a difference there between the two. And a breakout trade is obviously different from buying the dip, no questions about it. Trend trading is different from retracement trades. I wanted to acknowledge SMCI. I saw a lot of people have been talking about this name as well. And it is also up. I understand when NVIDIA did its thing last year, a lot of people were like, SMCI did the same thing. But I'll tell you from experience, SMCI is, I've traded this a couple of times while on the show, and one of them was like, it was a great trade. And then I looked at the spread and I looked at the way I was getting filled, and I simply asked myself, and the answer was no, I didn't like it, was if it had gone wrong, what would have happened here? And it's not the same level of liquidity on SMCI that you will get on NVIDIA. Like on NVIDIA, you'll actually get opportunities to enter trades, better liquidity, better relative spread, relative volume, all that kind of thing. It's a day trading tool. It's a little bit better. But yeah, you're going to get outsized moves on NVIDIA as well. There's a couple of names I'm going to throw out here while we're talking about chips, because I want to short Micron at 84. I noticed this one late. I was in Intel most of the morning. I'll get to that in a quick second. But Micron down 1.6%. Clearly, it got up to 84. As the market's back at the highs, it's underneath VWAP. I don't know if we get 84s again. I might just look at a VWAP trade underneath. If the market cannot push through these highs, that stock is weak. I'll give the example of Intel as well. I was short the 48 level the entire morning looking for a breakdown. It never happened, but we managed to keep it very, very tight for any losses. And then I was able to get the top here when it failed yesterday's close. So I think off the top, that's what I'd look for on Intel. We'll get to some of the big cap tech. We don't want to leave them out. I mean, there were a lot of strong movers in here today. But to just note that Micron looking very relatively weak, let's just say. So I want to watch that as the market gets back into the highs. We fail those highs. I'd rather try shorting off the highs in a weak stock than a rocket ship.
Just come back here quickly. I just want to get trade. All right, first of all, I want to do a big shout out to everybody that's here right now. Let's do a quick little roll call for everybody that's here. What's up to Tom Trades? What's up to Luis? Let's up to everybody here. Chef Joe, Comp SRX1, let's go. You asked so politely. What did you ask, Comp SRX1? Everybody else is here. What's up, Daryl? Do they split this year? I think maybe they do split. I would think that's right. Chef Joe, don't be at a loss for words, man. Just come back every day. What's up, Christopher? What's up, Matt Carnes? What's up, everybody? Patrick, everybody here. Mike Jones. It's Mike Jones. It's Mike Jones. Get that candy-coated paint going, baby. Okay, so this is why we talk about it, and I agree with Neil, actually. Yesterday, like, you know what? Like a blind trader goes long through 500, and boom, that's an easy one. But for the style of trade that I have, right, you're going to see Alibaba, same kind of a thing. To me, this was easier than yesterday because it came in and gave this base. And again, it has to be what you're looking for. And thank you, by the way, for everybody on Twitter. You know, that's obviously, we based, this is why, you know, this is why I feel like the sticky note has gotten so popular, is because I actually tell you guys what trade I'm looking for and what we're doing. So like market looking weak today. So we do have an opportunity to see it fall a bit. That's exactly what happened. Wait to see if we can find a base, then it's hammer time, right? Like basically, market weak, let NVIDIA fall. The only problem that we did is we just got out for a $1.50 hit there. Let it base out, then go. It bases out once and twice. So actually, to me, it was a little bit easier. We made more money yesterday because 500 was clean. But the thing is that it based there and there, like it gave me a reload. The only thing I wish I would have done yesterday was probably reloaded it at 512 instead of getting out on this dip, just rebuy it. But today we had confidence enough to reload it because it visited VWAP again. You see yesterday we never visited VWAP. Today, at least, we visited it right here and right here, giving us an opportunity to stay into that trade, right? And so, anyways, it's going to be a good one. All good things must come to an end. So I know you guys are amazed at this, and I just want to thank you. I'm equally amazed at this move. We said we would watch the 50-period moving average. We let it dance here because it was 540, but honestly, I think a break of 540, we call this one quits. Right, let's put that 20 in our pocket and then go from there, right? So anyways, nice move temporarily on NVIDIA. You know, for those of you that have missed it, I feel like, I don't know if you want to buy all the way up here, man. And don't check your accounts, by the way, because like, if you own NVIDIA, you're probably to the moon here.
You'll come up with excuses as to why you see the highs.
I was like, I don't want to sell, but I might.
Actually, this is a really good point. I feel like the number of times that I'm like, oh, I'm looking at taking profit, and then it's not the timing or earnings or something that makes me do it. It's looking at the chart and how much it's up that makes me end up doing it.
Don't look at it.
And we got a question about AVGO and whether or not we think, what do we think about AVGO in a split? I don't know. I'm actually a little surprised that hasn't been more chatter about AVGO Broadcom splitting by now. If it holds on to 1,000 again, like why wouldn't they split? But it's not, like not every company makes that decision just because it happens to be expected, and it's an obvious. It seems obvious to all of us. Probably get a little more options action on it, and then that can be a positive catalyst. But I'm not sure why they don't split on AVGO. It would make a lot of sense, and that's another rocket ship upside. Let's get back to the desk here, Brendo, and get down the line here. Talk about some Alphabet.
Yeah, a couple things. 2 days in a row for NVIDIA, 2 days in a row here for Google, as you guys were saying. Pretty impressive, 1.5% right now, coiling up again at the highs, essentially 141. Acting as resistance. Couple of things to note, if you remember, it was Singular, what was it? Singular Computing was the name of the company in Boston that's filing this lawsuit against Google and some of it's on the processing side. So they're going after some of the patents on the processing side for Google's AI, saying that they've crossed some lines, you know, in how they're actually processing the large language model for BART, I guess, but just be aware of that. But I mean, Google doesn't care today. Also this, catching a nice CNBC halftime report bump today was Alphabet, guys. So it did move on that, wherever it was. I think it was around here. Got 2-day highs once again.
We had it written down on our sticky note for Google to get it at. First of all, I was just looking at AMD. I do have the order out for NVIDIA breaking through 540. This trade, you might be able to see it, may come to a conclusion very, very soon if we break below 540 in a marketable order, breaking down lower. So we'll get out of that one. Look, we had Google written down today, and I don't even really know why. I think it's on our watch list. Google must be, but
over the lawsuit, yeah.
Yeah. So again, I was looking long today, despite where the market opened up. Maybe it's gone up a little bit too far. And Google is in an area right now where you got to be looking short. I feel like a couple nice big bump up over the last couple days, getting it into this area of concern up to 142. So maybe we'll look at it when and if it gets up that high. But for right now, yeah, Google just keeps on going. And the reason why we like the one, we wrote down 130. I still have the bid there, 137.11. It just didn't fill. I thought that maybe there was a chance. Yesterday we talked about where it started to base out a little bit yesterday, and maybe I can zoom in just a little bit to give you guys the idea of why we liked 137. So here it is. Where was it? It was yesterday, 137. So right into here. So this was so yeah. Oh yeah, we talked about this on the beginning show. There it is right there. So this is the consolidation yesterday. There's the break, and that break happened at 137.20. It tried to break back lower. It didn't. That's 137.28. So I think I was probably at 130. Well, I'm still at 137.11. I don't know why. But anyways, that was the reason why. We just never got to that. So we started the day here when we're writing the sticky note. It's at 138. It's at 137.70. I'm thinking we could dip down on a little bit of a move lower. That never happened, and it just took off. So whatever, man. And the reason why I said that I didn't care about this lawsuit was because we're in such early days right now of OpenAI. I mean, Microsoft
too, yeah.
had those issues, and we talked about this again on the podcast. Make sure you join us again on Saturday, of Microsoft having issues with their scraping. Oh, that's still Google? Come on, man. Of them scraping, and the New York Times being like, yo, you copied it word for word. And Microsoft's like, yo, it's public domain. So, you know, that move didn't get Microsoft anywhere. It got it back to what? 366. So, I mean, I'm not too worried about all this. They're going to have to figure it out. And like anything, man, I tell my kids, if you're going to do anything, become a lawyer, because all of this stuff will get caught up in court for days and weeks and years. So I'm not worried about any of this stuff hitting any bottom line anytime soon. So to the moon with all these stocks.
That and accountants, because especially like on the court.
Accounting is just boring.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
I know. I don't want to name any names, but somebody I went to school with, their wife is a corporate accountant. And let's just, all I want to say about this is like if you save the company, like, ooh, I found this,
yeah.
You saved this amount, the bonuses can get, like, you know, it can get nice, but it's boring. It's boring stuff. I went to school for accounting. It's boring stuff, but sometimes that can really pay out. I didn't trade any Apple. Actually, I didn't trade any Apple either. I didn't trade any Google, but while we're talking big tech, there was Amazon this morning, and you know, on a day where the market didn't believe that it was an obvious short. I did have some individual stocks. I'm in a firm right now short, but had individual stocks that I didn't mind for some shorting opportunities, was looking for longs. When I didn't catch the chips, there was Amazon, and I'll get to Uber maybe a little bit later. But Amazon very quickly established a clear trend to the upside. There was no chance to get the support levels on Amazon. It didn't get down there enough. I actually was looking underneath 147. Believe it or not, which we got nowhere close to. So when it got back and reclaimed above yesterday's high, and this bounce in here at the higher low that established that trend, where I'm like, let's just get in before it even gets to 150. Then added a couple times. I had a break, which I hated, and then did the buy the dip consolidation. Managed to hold on to it. And then it got a little bit top heavy, and I bought one last dip in there, and then got out for good when it failed 150, 130. In 100% hindsight, that exit price here would have been a good place to start going short, but I wasn't looking for the short here. But sometimes like where you get trailed out actually isn't all that bad. And then one more thing, I just want to get here while it's happening, because I was in and out of Affirm a couple of times. Affirm is the other stock I'm sure was off the 45 level higher low, and I trailed out getting up to sort of go back and grab a T. I'm going to put a trailing stop in when it was sort of down here, got trailed out. I jumped back in, more or less, not at the price that I covered, but at the area where I put in the stop to jump back into that short failing off of VWAP. Affirm is a weak stock. I want to try to short weak stocks and be long the strong ones. I mean, it sounds like a simple thing to do, but you know, it's not always something it's easy for traders to do. But long strong, short weak is not a bad way to go.
All right, let's go on to Unity. What an ugly reversal candle forming on the daily chart here for Unity. We get the gap to the upside on this note. 1,800 getting layoff notices, 25% of the overall workforce from you. Gap's above 40 on that and has not bounced. We're down just over $4 now to the downside in a straight line, guys, for Unity today. Not good.
Unity.
You know what? I'll say that when Unity is good. Like we give it the Rick James when it's good. When Unity is bad to us, then I give it the stank, a little bit of a stank face in there. I'm not happy about it, but you know, obviously that was part of the plan of action. There were a lot of things I was looking for some dip buys on. Maybe the way that came in should have been the story, because when I sat down and threw my note out there, I was like, if it breaks back out 40.25 on the cost cutting good. It's got a short float. It could go squeezing. There's a big difference between a stock showing strength up at the top and breaking out the top, and it being a dip buy. Going for the dip buy sometimes in the higher short float name, like it's one thing in NVIDIA where everyone wants to own the stock, and it's almost unquestionable that everyone wants to own the stock to a certain extent. But when it's a higher short float name, catching the dip can be a little bit more dangerous. I did get in. It was a pre-market trade. Let's go to the 3 minutes so it's easier. It was a pre-market where it dipped in and gave those 39s, and it couldn't hold the local bottom. It actually tried to set up there again. Probably just lucky I was looking at other things not to have jumped back in that trade off the exact same levels right off of the open, and then it just never caught a bid at any point. So I'll slap the fail on Unity. Probably, you know, it would have been actually nastier if this had made that same move at after the open, where you want to put on trades a little bit differently because you have the confidence of seeing opening ranges. So when they fail, they're a little bit worse. But Unity is a bit of a dog, and I'm going to throw that. I'll give that to Match as well. We didn't really trade Match, but that's the other gap up stock that gave you the same thing. Only bringing it up because, you know, it was a gap up stock that failed, and it was a situation where you're looking for it to break out. It never gives the breakout off the gap up, and it never even at the open, it just drops and never holds any levels until it's too far gone to the downside. So I'll slap a fail on both those stocks. One of them we traded. The other one I didn't really have an intention to trade, but that's the problem with these gap ups. Sometimes you got to be patient or at least get out.
Yeah, we have we tried it a lot of times, Unity today. I mean, finally, the thing about this is I talk about this all the time on earnings and on plays like this is like you got to be really specific and wait for certain things to happen, right? And so unfortunately on Unity, we really just lost here early when it just dropped down. We started buying some dips here at 36 until eventually it just, we had some, I mean, I can zoom in here. You know, we had some longs, which were all working basically off 36. Our best out was like 36.20, but at the end of the day, we just kept on breaking, and then that's 36.80s. Like I basically was going long 80s, trying to get them out, and you guys saw me do that, but at the end of the day, it's going to be an L. So looking at this stock, I mean, you know, we talked about Alibaba, why that was easy there today. We talked about NVIDIA, why it was easy today. And I just wish Unity was sort of been more like this right off the bat and then had the chance to go. I don't have a problem losing. It's just, this part is fine. It's this part where we, you know, the stock was up 3 or 4%, and then it just came back in. So we lost pretty much everything early on it, which sucked at that time. Now it seems small, but at the end of the day, I still think you want to buy these 50s. I just don't know if we come into Unity right now. If you want to, like, see, this is the problem. If you're gonna buy these dips, where are you getting out? I just feel like you're gonna get your stop run. So like, I would love to. I mean, it looks so good, right? Buy 77s, but then if you buy those, then what? I feel like you have to wait down to for 50s. So remember, the only time you're gonna get these is when it's coming in. So you're gonna have to stand in front of it to give 20 cents. When really, you know, 75, 20 cents higher, you're just gonna have to go top to bottom for the risk to make any sense. With it down 8% in the market, fine. I'm gonna pass on Unity right now, unless I mean, if we get to 35.60, I'll buy in front of 50, but 35.60 or bust here on Unity.
All right, Boeing, UAL, pretty disastrous here once again. And again, if you missed it this morning, it wasn't about necessarily UAL having an issue other than they came out and said in the pre-market that they were going to face, quote unquote, significant cancellations today because of this 737 MAX 9 grounding and fleet issue that they had to deal with now, having to move planes around to accommodate passengers for that. But yeah, this is pretty ugly wording here from a couple of analysts talking about reputational minefield and possibly permanent damage even for Boeing. So we're through that low from yesterday. And then some. The investigation from the FAA underway here, guys. It's worth noting here, volume nowhere near what it was yesterday, though.
No, and you know what, let's just, before we get to Boeing, I'm just going to pivot to something which might be a little bit more positive. UAL 420. We always talk about 420 for some reasons. Okay, it's 44.20. But look at the daily chart. 44.20. Today's high, 44.16. It's actually, I'm cheating a little bit, but it's close enough to 44.20, and it's up 2% near those highs. Now, I don't know that we get the breakout today, but that's going to be on the radar. Oddly enough, I just looked at, someone just mentioned Pinterest in the chat. Pinterest and Snapchat are at interesting breakout levels. Maybe not today, but they should be on watch this week, both those two names. Boeing, there's nothing good to say about this one, except for the fact that it's not a dumpster fire today. It's only down 1.5%, but it cannot seem to break higher. I had an area that I would have liked for the SPR short. Boeing should have just looked at the previous close and just said, if it tries to go green, look for the short there. Instead, I was more interested in like resistance levels from yesterday. Like I wanted to see where sellers had actually come in and not just where we happened to close. Unfortunately, that led to no trade. SPR was a good trade several times yesterday to the short side. Today, I didn't get a shot at just didn't get a shot at the levels I liked. Comparatively speaking, this barely moved compared to yesterday. Same thing with Boeing. So you don't have to trade just because I'm looking for this setup. Does it happen? If answer no, then don't trade it. Look for something else. Like I was able to find a few other trades. I'm still in a firm. I don't know what that happened just there. But just because something doesn't set up for you doesn't mean there won't be other trades. Like I was able to find Uber, was able to find Amazon. So Boeing.
Why don't I have quotes?
Is that what happened?
I think we just lost quotes.
I was gonna say I can't see my SPR chart's fine, but I don't have a level 2. I thought that was just me.
Like I just got stopped out of NVDA. Brankos. Wayne Brankos. We don't have quotes over here. I don't know if they don't have quotes back there.
Uber's fine for me.
I've got quotes.
There's a quote from a trader on the floor.
I don't even have Uber. I don't have anything.
Oh, it just came back in. There was a quote from a trader back in the day. He said, "Real traders don't need quotes." He's no longer a trader. Let's get back to the desk. You know who that was, right?
I actually don't need quotes either.
No. It was okay. You can look at the charts.
Yeah,
it's an inside joke. I don't want to say.
Yeah. I know what you're getting at. But honestly, I don't know. There's either even people on the
I'm
chat.
back now, though.
Oh, you're back now. Okay.
Check.
All right. Well, I'm not back. Anyways, okay. We'll go over there and we'll figure it out.
All right, yeah, we'll touch on Netflix here. All the way back, we're fading off a little bit, but all the way back from that monster gap to the downside this morning, there was a downgrade pointing to more headwinds to come heading into the new year with the ad-supported tier specifically, and more competition in that space. They're going to be fighting for ad dollars going into the new year, but numbers still supporting the fact that a ton of people obviously watching Netflix still, guys.
Quotes. Okay, so because there's no quotes, I'm just going to go right over to Citigroup because I apologize. We're trying to get this figured out. Will Netflix downgrade? Okay, let me just look at the Netflix chart. I didn't trade Netflix today, nor do I ever. So hopefully the chart will load up. We are definitely having. Okay, my Netflix chart's not even loading.
I haven't. My Netflix. Okay, I have a Netflix chart up. I can talk to Netflix because it was up for a second. My level 1 quote isn't there. My execution seems fine because my orders are still out to the market. Although you know what? Maybe I'm out of a firm. I'm gonna have to do a refresh because I see myself as still in a firm short. But Netflix, it is only up. Is only down less than 1%, it's like 0.5%, and it never made the breakout, unfortunately. It would have been nice if it could have done it. I love the trend that's happening here.
I don't know.
Where you're getting these nice higher lows, you're holding the 50 period to the upside. It just never quite took out the top. It was not the most obvious of long trades. Hindsight being 2020, it felt as if there were other, like if I was looking for a gap and go continuation, if it had been pulling back into 480 on the gap down, like this level in here, I'm more apt to have been long on a gap down on something like a Netflix instead of trying what I thought were stronger stocks. Instead, it was testing the bottoms, which meant I wanted 470s. I think it's what I'm pretty sure in the morning we're talking about, like 470 seemed like a much better spot to go for it. But I can't seem to break that 87 level. Just to quickly go back, yeah, you know what?
I'm just going to log out and back in.
That's not a bad idea. I just realized I had a trail that did not cover, so I'm going to punch out of...
No, they will...
Oh, wait a minute.
Mine filled.
Yeah, okay,
My
maybe...
NVIDIA filled.
Yeah, maybe I'm not going to punch out of... Yeah, because I probably did get filled there on a trail, on a firm. So let's get...
No, I think quotes are fine. If you didn't get filled, no, I mean orders, sorry. Did it
But
go out?
I just threw an order and nothing happened.
All right, so let me just talk about what's happening here. If you ever have issues with your platform or anything like that, like I've logged out and back in, so that's why I'm trying to help out with Neil, but like one of my stop orders got filled. So that's why I just don't want you to double punch.
And that's a key thing. Like you don't, because what will happen is if you double punch, well, it could come back up, both orders fill, then you're long. You never wanted to be long in the stock, which is.
And I also have to say something about Day Trade the World here is because nobody else is having these issues except for Neil and I. And I think it's because some little birdie was working on our computers.
Well, they fixed my earpiece.
So now you have a great earpiece and no quotes. That's what it's all about. No, I don't think it has anything to do with
Let me know if logging out.
Now I'm unable to log in. So.
Yeah. So
anyways, guys, what do you want to talk about? I mean, for dinner tonight, I'll probably be some kind of.
What are you guys doing?
I don't know. We have practice again, but
practice.
Yeah, I think the wife was talking about last night. We might do something like more paleo-ish coming through, where you're just kind of eating everything, whole foods. So like last night we had she baked the small potatoes. You ever put that in just straight oven, like just the small ones, the new potatoes?
Actually, not the small ones. No.
The new potatoes.
Yeah,
Oh
I know.
my God,
I know.
they're so good. And
I'm down with that.
I can't remember what else did we have last night. I think it was maybe pork tenderloin or something, but it was really, really
That's
tasty.
what I'm talking about.
Why, thank you, Freddie, the friendly guy. This is a nice shirt. This is salmon.
I love the salmon shirt.
Oh, thank you. And by the way, if anybody is looking to sponsor swag, I mean.
I need a new cardigan. Or whatever. That's what they call it.
many cardigans.
That's the whole joke, because I basically only have cardigans.
You know, I still remember this tasty coffee.
Yes.
All they did was send us coffee and send us mugs, and you too can have tasty coffee. So there you go. Imagine.
We'll drink it, we'll eat it, we'll wear it.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys have anything, we have what, 70,000 views plus every day. I think, we're doing the market recap show. We're doing the podcast. I mean, other people are sponsored. I think we'll do this as well. Plus, if you do want to sponsor us, you get to go on the phone with Kat. So there's that as well. I just
she's got something, and she's wrapped something as she hasn't eaten. And it
no,
looks
I don't think you can.
It looks like an apple.
I'm not. This is a
it's
one
an apple
problem.
treat of some kind.
To log in.
So
I'm not.
The thing that's happening, it feels as if like I have moving charts, so I can talk about the markets. I also have some moving quotes on my execution. When I fired an order, nothing happened, and I show a position which I'm not sure is even real because I had a trail on a firm that I think should have filled. So I will wait for confirmation to see what's going on with it. But the overall market is still making a decent push. It's trying to hold on to 16.8. Let's get into what can happen next, because you have a consolidation off the top. This is a 60-minute chart. The overnight top was 16.8. The market's trying to hold green 16.8. So on this pullback, if we hold 16.8, look for higher highs. You want to be long dips on strong stocks. I'll get to a couple in general. But if we fail it, this is why I want to be short and holding a firm and then getting back in if I can, if we fail the 16. So just one for you. I just did that thing. Okay, no, it worked. I flipped stocks and I wasn't sure whether it was going to work. So in this consolidation off the top, one of the stocks that I'm looking at for a potential breakout is Uber up top here at 60.5. It's up 2.5%. It already pulled back off the S&P edition. The bottom range was 60.5 when it was making its top consolidation. So previous support turning into resistance. That's why we got out at that 60 level earlier. So I think this is going to be a bit of a key, that 60.5 zone. So I like when resistance turns into support and vice versa. So I'm looking for this to break out that top. I think we can get to 61 if it takes out this top, but I want the futures to help just a little bit here. So again, probably not going to, I'm not going to test execution, because one of the things, once you get a heads up, because again, it's just Sean and I, everyone else seems to be fine. Once I get a heads up, I think we'll be okay. But thankfully, I wasn't really in many trades. Sometimes we'll be in 5 or 6. It's really not that big of a deal. But let us know anything you guys want us to look at. I'm looking at some Uber, I just mentioned. NVIDIA, if you're still tracking it, that's above 540. And it looks like it could get back into the high of the day here. I'm going to not log out because I don't want to lose. I can at least show you guys the charts. I don't want to lose that right now. So if you're tracking NVIDIA, it is still pressing to the upside. Just so you see Rob, like I'm loading, I have quotes, but I have level 1, but no level 2. I have fully working charts. Orders weren't really going out. And it's just Sean and me. But NVIDIA, super, super strong name up to this 350. You want Tesla? Okay. We'll talk some Tesla. Ooh, Tesla VWAP. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody that was on the short train for Tesla. If you were interested in a short name, I know I'm in a firm right now, and there was probably a couple of other things that were relatively weak. The best shorting opportunity today was Gates of Hell, Tesla. But look, I wasn't looking for it. It looks like 235 and VWAP can be a scalpable trade as well. Although it's not really trending down, this is more of a range-bound trade at this point. Hey, this is fun. I have this crazy line, which is higher. There you go. I was just moving this line by moving my cursor. So 235 half on Tesla, probably a scalpable level. That's assuming the market holds this top end of the channel. I do believe it's like 237 now, so I do believe we still have Frank coming through. It is Tuesday. Oh, yeah. We should still have Frank. Like nothing's really getting affected except for my level 2. So Sean's getting logged back in. I just want to hear. Oh, I just got quotes. I just got a level 1 quote.
Yeah, it's coming back.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire an order on a stock that's not going to fill just to test.
Yeah, go test it. So I figured out the only way to stop us from making money, and that is just to completely log us out of the platform. But no.
Okay,
that's not.
Orders are working.
Yeah, orders are working now. So we're back in the building, guys. Everything is all good. All right. So thank you for your patience, and thank you for watching us here. Okay, well, it's back, baby. So now we're able to trade a little bit here. We'll just try to clean up. I'm just trying to clean up some more stuff, my task manager and stuff. So that was a little bit of a hiccup. All right, unfortunately, not unfortunately, but as that was happening, we did finally get stopped out. So there it is. It's a $20 winner right there for Yahoo, for NVDA. So that concludes that trade. And again, look at all these wicks, right? We're going to have to try to clean these up as we go forward for you now. Otherwise, it's going to be impossible to do this. So if you are with us on Day Trade the World, basically never ever log out if you don't have to. I should not have done that. But anyways, see, now I got to clean all these wicks up. So anyways, we are out of NVIDIA. All right.
15 years ago, that was you used to always log out back in. It's just now, nowadays you don't need to.
Nowadays, do not ever do it if you can afford not to. I wouldn't do it ever myself. It's just, I thought to try to fix it for the show. Okay. Okay, so we just came back just listening to Wayne here because we're back, so it's all good right now. Just looking at this, Citigroup, definitely a big short just came through right there. So that's going to be something to watch out for. And then we're still going to ride the AMD train. We're not stopped out of this yet. I actually do not have a stop on this trade. I just feel like it's not up that much. It's up, fine. But NVIDIA's up 4%, or was up 4%. AMD still has room to go, so we're going to stay long on AMD. And I'm just going to try to clean these things up so I can better try to focus right here. Lululemon just maintains a buy. Oh, I know what I wanted to look at.
Shopify?
No, it's Boeing.
Oh.
I saw, before we got sort of discombobulated there with quotes, the news was, there it is, FAA says that every Boeing 737 MAX with a plug door will remain grounded until they safety all of them. So,
I hope so.
That doesn't, I mean, yeah, that news, and I guess is just baked in. That was at 228.
Here's a question for you.
228.
Because I asked this to, I forget who I was. It was a couple of people, a couple of traders just kind of at lunchtime. But what would it take to get to the point where you actually look at what plane you're on when you book? Would you care?
No.
You don't care?
No.
I think, that's where I've been with most of this. But to me, I feel like we're getting close enough to the point where if I actually had the choice where I could just choose between two, I'm getting the same price. Maybe I'm picking a different airline, but I think it's the same thing. And I know one of them ends up not being. Maybe it's an Airbus, or maybe it's just a plane that hasn't had any issues. If it was that easy to know it and the price didn't matter, I think I'm getting close to that point where it's like, come on.
I don't know. I just feel like I don't know enough about them all. Like if it's safetied, it's safetied. Like that's.
Well, my pilot buddy says, and I'm not. My cousin's a pilot. He's flown all kinds of stuff.
But it is reasonable.
But one of the things he does say is like right after, like when they're in the thralls of fixing a problem or they just had an issue, a lot of times that is when the vigilance is literally the best.
That's what I mean. I mean, I would think that they're probably making
like they're more on the ball right now.
But I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? But just one more thing, I actually double checked, I refreshed, I'm not out of a firm. I don't think orders, at least anything I was storing wasn't going to the market.
I mean, the other thing too is someone just put in the chat, another good point about that would be is like, I'm still driving tonight, right?
Oh yeah, which is way more dangerous.
So it's like,
yeah, that's
to each their own on that.
It's just a question. Like, I'm not saying I'm doing it. I was just kind of curious, so I threw it out there. A firm, I am now I'm putting the trail back in. I would have been trailed out had orders been going, but they weren't, so I'm not. So my trail is now in at 44 and a quarter on this short. It is down to 44. I'm not short the 45. I'm short the 44 half. Like, I kind of got out and then got back in. Like, I gave up. You give up like 10 cents on that trade. Like, getting out and then saying, that's kind of a stupid out, let's just get back in the trade. Sometimes you got to be willing to do that. If you anchor yourself to the price that you like the short from or the long from, sometimes you'll miss out on an opportunity to get the next part of the move. And that's sort of one thing we were discussing yesterday about NVIDIA. If you're anchored to 500, you might miss like the 12 entry, which I did. So like sometimes you just got to be able to buy high, sell higher, sell low, buy back lower is the other way to think about it. So only in one trade. I still feel like there could be a short in. If it is a chip name short, I feel like it should be Micron. And that might have been the opportunity at VWAP. I don't know if it's done yet. It's down 2%. If you're a chip name and you're not up today, I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, you got NES, you got the chips going nuts. Micron's down two points right now.
Okay.
It's beneath VWAP. So if the market rolls over, I got to feel like I should be in a Micron short. Maybe it sets up for 83.5 or VWAP or something like that.
So the reason why I double checked there with Neil, because tomorrow when I'm feeling a little bearish, which maybe we will, maybe we won't. What side are we going to wake up on the bed tomorrow? Today we were on the bullish side and we made all our money long. Which way is it going to be tomorrow? If it's red side and we're seeing red, then we will be looking at Micron for sure for that one. And those are the kind of things that we want to look at, right? We were in Peloton and then it just fell down. So Peloton today, again, like, right when we left you guys, we were talking about this, and I said if it breaks 50, we're gone, and it's kind of a good thing we were. And right now, you're actually looking lower. So the ES is red, right? The NASDAQ is, where's VWAP on here, by the way? Yuck, we're still far away. All right, so we may be heading back into VWAP right now. So, yeah, I guess because we traveled pretty good today. What is that? Oh, okay, that's 16.8. Okay, perfect. So we have 16.8 right there as a potential level. So that's great. So we will look now to see if we can bounce off 16.8. If we don't, then we know we can get into shorts. Like right now, this could be a great breakdown right here off 630. What happened to my chart over here? Like there's so many random things happening. All right, so there's still Bitcoin. I'm gonna find out, because there's no way oh no, that chart's just not existent for me anymore. Okay, good, so I'll have to open it again. That was a 15 or 20 minute chart. I will reopen that one. The other name that I thought we talked about earlier as a weak chipper. What's up to Chipper Jones, by the way?
Legend.
Yeah, legend there, Atlanta Braves legend, although Atlanta Braves doesn't seem to need any help these days. All right, so we'll see here, Intel weak. So as we said, Micron I think was down 1%.
No, two.
Two, okay, so way worse is Micron. But there's another one, so we'll look to see about this tomorrow. And again, because it has the $50 mark, this is just gonna be one of those trades again, where that hopefully tomorrow we can open up in and around 49 and then give ourselves $1 worth of risk up to 50. Let's just wait on Intel. I have to.
Oh, there was one stock on that. It was actually in the mid when Adara came on and did Sector Watch, and then when the recap was just happening at the beginning of the show, Oracle's another one that stood out, down 1%. I knew there was something weak that I wanted to talk about here. The daily chart on Oracle. If you've been waiting for the $100 level, you might be kicking yourself at an opportunity because it just did a bounce off the 100. But what's actually setting up here, let me just, why talk about, sometimes you should just draw like the line. So it makes a top, it makes the double top right here. So this would be the spot where I'm looking for, like it's kind of loose like this. Like it makes lower highs after this little bottom. The other thing that's happening is you make this little top. It's not a perfect channel, but you guys get the idea. If I even draw it from those peaks, it's not as steep, but you get the idea. You're getting some lower highs and lower lows. It just failed the 200 period moving average. But the other side here is what happens if you break out the top of this channel. This is a stock where if it breaks out that top, it has a chance to really start to go. Like you have, what is that, like over a 10% move to the highs. Now it's obviously channel down, you're respecting moving averages, so I think it might end up just being a short when it gets to the top of this channel. But I think in an overall sense, in companies you like to own and you think are worth buying, you look for reasons to buy them. And then when you're day trading, you can worry about the shorting it when it gets to the top of the channel. But Oracle, it has been falling. I don't wonder if this $100 level doesn't give us a trade in the next couple of days here, the way that it's working into it, because it's been a really good level, that 100. The third time, will it be a charm? Well, it's been pretty easy off that 100. I think it's worth a shot if it can get there. So I got fortunate on Affirm. It looks like it's trying to get back through 44. My trail's at 44 and a quarter. I might move that now down to 40. I'd be out of this. Like I had this, it should have gotten out here when we were down. It didn't, so all I did is move the trail because the order never fired. But I'll move it into 44.1, which was the previous high of the day, only position I'm in.
Nice, yeah, that Affirm trade is beautiful. We like shorting Affirm, that is for sure. It's pretty much been on
a short.
Yeah, it's been on both of our radars for a long time, so it's nice that that's finally a short. And we've talked about that having a 3 handle. I just wish it would have it sooner rather than later, so we could be right on that one.
Oh.
Okay.
It's literally January. It's January 8th. Give it a week.
Yeah, that's. I'm close to like logging in and getting out of some NVIDIA here, maybe on the aftermarket. You can get out after hours. Maybe it'll rip up a little bit more there. Just such a good move in NVIDIA over the last couple of days. Okay, it's time to talk. We've been talking stocks all day. Let's go. We got IG. We got coming up with Frank. It's going to be a good talk here with Brendo. Let's see what he wants to talk about. We have a big meeting coming up on the 31st. Obviously, currencies have been moving around a little bit here as well. The TLT moving. Lots of stuff to talk about with the man, Frank Caberna.
Point coming up this week as well on the inflation front ahead of the next Fed meeting at the end of the month. Always good to have Frank Caberna with us from IG in Chicago. We'll recap first, Frank, what happened, feels like a long time ago now, but back on Friday with the non-farm payrolls number that came in, if everyone remembers, hotter than expected. But the market, seemed to kind of shrug this off, and the initial move, although downside, was immediately bought back up, as we've seen in the past. And then we rally all day long, essentially on Friday and the day near the highs. And then, Monday, obviously, just an extension of that. So give us your take here. It was hotter than expected. Not a huge number across the board, but still, above that estimate.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can talk the number here in just a second, but it seems like the market is really in a great place for active market participants, active people getting in and out of trades intraday. And we'll get to that in just a second. But first, this number comes in at 216, expected in the 150 to 170 range. And I've talked about this here on your great show in the past, and hopefully people are starting to get the idea of what I'm getting at when I talk about a number being priced in, or the market pricing in the under or pricing in the over, because the reaction that we saw across stocks, rates, Forex, everything afterwards was one of the wildest reactions I think we've seen in so long. Because you get the hot number, Brendan, you get the upside in rates, you get the downside in stocks, you get the upside in dollars, the trends that you would have expected to see. But you've seen such wacky movement out of these markets going into that non-farm that everything reversed course throughout the rest of the day. And I think it ended up making sense after the fact. But throughout, the fact that you saw stocks, sell off really hard off of that number on the expectation of maybe less rate hikes because employment is still higher. And then you saw that reverse course. Remember that stocks had been beaten up the previous 2 weeks, and rates had bounced back significantly the previous 2 weeks. And so the market had already kind of priced in a little bit of a strong number there. And then when we got it, they tried to push it through the lows in stocks and through the highs in rates, and then everything reversed course. And now here is a new week, and rates are expected actually exactly where they were expected last week, around 60 to 65% chance of a rate cut coming in March. And now that's down from around 80 to 85% chance a couple of weeks ago. But this is what I'm getting at, is whether it was interest rates or stocks or foreign exchange, every market going into last week's non-farm was pricing in stronger than expected. The number comes in stronger than expected. Markets push through those levels for, I think it was all of 5-10 minutes, and then reverse course in a really harsh way. And back to my first point, it seems like this market is so confused right now as to whether or not we're going to get these cuts or how many cuts we're going to get, that all of these numbers, and we'll see what the inflation rate coming later this week, can be interpreted on both sides of the market, so to speak. And so, like I say, a great environment for, I think, day traders, active participants in the market, a rough environment here to start the year for the passive stockholder that's just hoping that we get another run like we got at the end of 2023. It feels like rate cuts are priced into all of these markets, but now the back and forth that we'll get every time a non-farm comes up, every time an inflation number comes up, and the FOMC at the end of the month, I think will be good for back and forth, but not necessarily a long-term trend of upside or downside in stocks or rates or Forex.
Yeah, a lot more possible uncertainty this year than I think last, with what is expected to come. As you mentioned, we had the initial move, as you were highlighting, in the overall market. Very similar one happened in yields as well, depending on what you're looking on. It doesn't matter, like really long-term yields, even the 10-year had an initial move that was then faded as well. We really haven't done much since then. If you go out to what happened on Friday and then yesterday and today, it's kind of just been chopping along, going sideways. So more, kind of wait and see here as far as the price action and yields goes.
Yeah, but getting some pretty big days, intraday moves, that is, out of stocks and USD, and rates yesterday, for example, were down. 10-years were down 3 or 4 basis points at the close, but they were down, 8-10 basis points intraday. And yeah, going back to this non-farm move, the end of the day, you're right there around unchanged. But this is, the dream for a lot of day traders that are looking for just a lot of action. You could be long, you could be short, and right in either direction at the end of the day, coming back to around unchanged. Just a lot of volatility intraday, but at the end of the day, not much changing. Similar setup there with the US dollar, and we'll continue to watch as it's been glued to around 110 for the euro, close to 1.25, 130 for the pound, but seeing some big, 50, 100 pip moves intraday. And you see that, non-farm comes out immediately, euro spikes lower, dollar seeing a lot of strength off of that number. And by the end of the day, completely reversing all of that sentiment, a huge move to the upside in euro. But then a few hours later and it all comes back. So a lot of intraday action. But yeah, to your point, nothing really trending in one direction or the other. Rates still around 4%. Markets still pricing in 4 or so rate cuts throughout the year. And it feels like this inflation number here this week, while it will be valuable, will likely be similar to that non-farm, in that you'll see waves being made. You'll see a big reaction one way or the other. But until we get that FOMC at the end of the month, I don't know if anything fundamental or substantial will change. The inflation rate is expected at 3.2%. The core inflation expected closer to 4%. Now, if we get a spike to 3.5% and 4.5% respectively, then you might see, some significant downside in stocks, some significant upside for U.S. rates and U.S. dollars, and vice versa if you get a two-handle print for the headline inflation and a 3-handle print. For core inflation, it doesn't look like we're going to get that. And even if they are off by, a tenth, 0.2%, similar to that non-farm being off by 50,000, it's likely to create some short-term volatility, but we're not seeing much lasting volatility in this market outside of a few hours.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I want to approach this from a different angle here. To me, what that chart shows you is that 3-something is now the norm. So as you said, outside of something with a 2 on the front of it, I mean, are we really going to sit here and kind of nitpick about a tenth of a basis point here, a tenth here, going back and forth? The days of going from 6 down to 4 in one shot have passed. So the volatility, it seems like, has come out of the way that things are coming off and the way that inflation has coming off. I think the next question is, what do they have to do to get through this 3 wall and into that 2 area where they want to be?
Yeah, that's a great point. And I mean, honestly, the market has, given the rebound that stocks saw on Friday off of what should have been interpreted theoretically as a bearish number, bullish for rates the last couple of years, a higher than expected number. With that being said, Brendan, I would wonder and almost contend that stock bulls out there would want an inflation that is closer to the high side of the 2-handle there, or 3.1, 3.2, 3.3. Because remember, it was only 3 to 6 months ago that we were worried, back in the June, July area, we were worried this inflation was going to come crashing through 2%. And I think anything in the 2 to 3.5, even 4% range has become a comfortable zone for stocks. Now, if we do get that spike to 3.5, 4% in the next go, or God forbid higher, then I think that gets a little bit scary for stocks. But what that non-farm number showed you was a little bit of an ability for the stock market to shrug off a slightly hotter than expected number, because we haven't had this fear for the last couple of months. Rates have found their footing and they've bounced back a little bit here. But remember, that fear was, are we going to get this soft landing, or are we going to get this hard crash? And right now, anything that is as expected or a little bit higher is being interpreted as bullish for stocks. We're in that happy mode that I know everybody online makes fun of, which is, bad data is good for stocks, good data is good for stocks as well. But as long as you're not getting any prints that are below 2% or above 4% for inflation this year, that feels like it has been bullish for the stock market. And it seems like the Fed is getting that normalized inflation rate, normalized interest rate right here between 2 and 4% for honestly both. And to your point, the rest looks like it is nitpicking.
Yeah. As far as the, just quickly to wrap up, PPI on Friday, so CPI Thursday, PPI we get at the end of the week. Not as closely watched. That is an inflation portion as well. Do you put any weight towards that at all?
I mean, of course, I'll put weight to anything that ends up creating volatility. And while it's not the headline number in terms of CPI or even PCE that'll come a little bit later in the month, if it is a shock at all, like I say, if it's off by 0.5% or more, it'll absolutely move the market. I always reference overseas, one of the biggest numbers until it isn't, or one of the most boring numbers until it is Chinese trade balance. And you'll see once every 3 to 6 months, that monthly number will come out and absolutely make huge waves overnight in NASDAQ, S&Ps, and everything else. And PPI is in that kind of medium tier as well, where it's not going to be looked at. There's not going to be a lot of anticipation. But if it is off by, like I say, 0.5% or more, it'll absolutely shake things up on Friday.
Yeah, something to look forward to anyway. CPI again Thursday at 8:30. We'll get PPI the morning after. Frank Caberna, great stuff as always. Good insight. We'll check back in again on Thursday.
Thanks, Brennan.
Thank you again, Frank, as always. Fantastic. Put on the spot at the end for PPI. I love that reference. Like, you got to know that just because a number 8 times out of 10 doesn't move the market, or whatever it might be, 9 times out of 10 doesn't move the market, it doesn't mean you're not prepared for when it can. That's your job as a trader. Every NVIDIA 500 is, every day NVIDIA is not going to go $20 or $25, but the times that the opportunity is there, you just want to make sure you're on it, and then if it is that day, then you're on that trade. Just want to use that analogy. And the market did go up while Frank was on, not much, but it did bounced off 16.8. What also got above VWAP is Mara. I put this one in the chat. It's not green. Oh, wait a minute. It is now green. Okay, well, when I started this diatribe or whatever, it was not green on the day. It's just kind of teetering. It closed at 26 bucks essentially. So it's above VWAP, stair-stepping into the upside. We were along this buying some dips until it failed VWAP here. Like, I was buying dips to the high, and then right here it failed VWAP, and I got away from it. Should have maybe looked at the double bottom at 25 in the middle of the day. I was away from my desk because they were working on some things, but now I like VWAP in here, so I want to give it to like 25, 70-ish, look for some 80 entries off of this higher low. I decided I didn't want to wait around for Micron and forgot that Frank was talking, so the market started to try to go to the upside. I just saw this rejection of what was a 1030 bottom, and then once, twice, thrice, okay, I'll short it, give it about 10 cents down here. It's a tight stop because it's not VWAP, but Micron, as I said, has been relatively weak. I do like this one. If I'm going to short something, it should be a weak stock. Micron and Affirm both fall into that category. But I'm now looking at this Mara. I want to try and buy this dip in here. The other thing going on is Bitcoin's trying to make another run at 47,000. If it gets there, I want to have something to the long side.
I feel like we nailed this again here today by getting out of our NVIDIA right where we did, which is right here. You can get back in if you like it. And then holding on to AMD, and we talked about why. I thought there was a lot more room to go for AMD longs right now. And it looks like we're probably, oh no. Trying to edit that candle there so we can have another look to see if there's any key levels. 147.30. Can't believe we have to always do this, man. It's so brutal. All right, I'm gonna do it again here. It's gonna affect all the lines and everything. So 146. I mean, whether or not I'm off by a couple pennies isn't gonna matter. All right. So we were lucky enough. This is just a reload there, and then it just popped. So we had this long at 145. We actually wrote down AMD long 147, and that's what this break is right there. So we had the 145 dip buy opportunities. Remember, we got stopped. Well, I didn't get stopped out, but we had that initial break of 147 early. Then we were lucky enough to get it long at 145.50. We did have a couple mistakes in there where we were buying it and selling it. And then obviously right now we hold this as it comes right back up to the high of the day. So here's another one, man. We did it already. We took $20. If you're just joining me for the first time, we took $12.50 yesterday on NVIDIA, $20 right here, as there's our out right up here, right there, as it broke below the 50 period. That coincided with $540. Man, I got to get out of some more NVIDIA. Okay, so that's that trade. Let's just wait for AMD, man.
Wait till earnings.
I still think we're here anyways. 149.75. There it is, man. AMD at the high of the day, man. We did it again. There's another top. This is top to bottom. If I get out at any point right now, that would be the top. So let's do it. I mean, why not? The only reason I'm saying that is because we also have a 150 target staring us in the face that we could actually blast through as well. So it's 3 o'clock. We're entering power hour now. I mean, we can wait to see if there's a fail up top at 150, but we're still in this. We're still long, and this is what's good. So I made more on NVIDIA yesterday, but thank you for asking, Hampton's Trader. Good question there. What else? Well, part of the reason is, and it goes back to what Neil was saying, we actually took a hit here on our first trade. And then since then, it's just been blasting all the way up. And then because we were confident on the reload, but it's like, we took 1250 yesterday. I told you we held like 40% of it for that huge move up, right?
It was such a different move, right? Like that's because no, it never went against you, and it shot into the money right away.
Yeah.
And it wasn't difficult to capture the first 5 and then 10 on that. It was just very, very different. So most day traders, I'm not like every style is different.
Well,
but
I mean, no one caught $10.
No, just on a day trading standpoint. As a day trading standpoint, almost all day traders that I know are probably going to make more on yesterday's NVIDIA trade than today, even if the move notionally can be the same. Generally speaking, most traders are going to do better just because of the nature of how it went. There's been a lot of breakouts when they happen like that. SoFi's done it, Boeing's done it recently, and when it just goes and it starts working, that can happen for you, to be sure. As you said, it's power hour, so we're starting to tighten things up a little bit here. I'm in tomorrow. Bitcoin is not at 67. I wasn't meaning I'm getting in because Bitcoin's at 47, but we're trending back in towards some of those highs, and I like that we got back above VWAP here. So that's the reason I got in. Probably had too tight of a stop on Micron, but as I said, I would have liked it a bit better at VWAP. Just an entry I prefer. So there's me stopping out on Micron for 10 cents, deciding that I want to keep pretty tight. But if you've been watching the afternoon show in the last couple of weeks, that's been what's working for me. Like every afternoon's generally been good because I'm just taking, get in, find where I'm wrong and have like a tight stop, take the profit, look for the next trade. And if it's working, it's working. Get out of it if it doesn't work right. Like that kind of a thing. I don't want to be fighting stuff in the afternoon. And I feel like the market has been pretty strong today. So if I have a tight stop on the short, then it's not the end of the world. But we're in Amara. That's the newest position. I feel like there's some stocks rolling over. Amazon is failing 151 and could be headed back into VWAP. I think that's one worth watching here, as it's not showing the strength it was earlier. Apple, that could pull back. 184 looks pretty juicy. That was like the top at the open. Then you had the 1020 high. It broke out from that price. So you have a lot of things kind of confluencing to that 184 level. Yeah, I got out of Micron too soon. There's no question about it. Should have hung on to that trade. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. The only thing you can do is look for another re-entry. It's a weak stock. I only want to be short this name. If I lose on Micron, it should only be trying to short. This is not a strong stock today.
And we kind of did the opposite right there because we were lucky enough. We just started talking about AMD, and we said we're going to get out right there. Oh, so that's out. I don't. It's like the fills. It's just they're just. We just saved ourselves right there, 75. Like I was saying, man. Like I don't know. You guys can all see. It doesn't really matter. Okay. So by the way, we do have tonight. We're gonna have Raider Trader. Raider Trader will be on. Oh, that's shout out to Fabian and Ramin there. It will be on the recap show. One of my favorite guests. Welcome him back to Trader TV Live. Reached out. The kid said no problem. I respect that. Raider Trader on tonight, man. We had a great time last time. The sharpest dressed man around, Raider Trader, will be on tonight to talk about everything. He also, like me, has been calling for the demise of the NASDAQ later on this month. So we'll wait to see if we can, we'll ask him more about that. We'll talk to him about some plays that he has and what he's talking about. It's going to be Raider Trader on live with me tonight for the recap show. And again, man, like traders stay late. So just stay late with me, man. We're burning the midnight oil for you guys. So please support it. It'll be Ramin. It'll be Ramin and this guy tonight live on the Market Recap Show. We're also now on Twitter. We're now on Twitter and YouTube, I think that's all. And then we're going to put it up.
X.
Yeah. Slow. I got it. And we're also made this into a podcast now on Amazon and on Spotify as we continue to go and wherever you can catch it. So I'm just going to say shout out to that. We'll have a nice one there. All right. D-Loaf needs a face slap animation. All right.
What for?
I don't know. For what? I got into a small net positive trade to save my day on TMS. TMS? Well, look, I like TMS and everything. I don't really even know what you're saying, but the thing is like trading on TMS is just infinitely different than trading in live, right? I mean, you have to be able to understand the difference with risk in when it's real money and fake money. And for me, and I just seen it, you know, even behind us, it's like the conversion between having success on TMS and going over to live. It does matter. I think what you're really in TMS for, D-Loaf and everybody else, is to figure out a strategy, and then hopefully once it works enough, then you can bring that into live, and then once you have real money on the line, then you can see if it even works then, because so many trades are mental issues, you know, and it's just like me, you know. I mean, we could have all these bangers on, no doubt. NVIDIA can easily be the #1 stock around here today, easily, but it could be 20 times higher if I just believe in this huge move and don't just hold a small piece, right? And so a lot of it is like, oh, well, in TMS I did that. Well, I just did this in real, you know? So I feel like that's the mental, like if I was in TMS, I probably wouldn't have got like so excited about the dollar signs and then maybe held it. I'm saying maybe because I don't know. So the thing about that, D-Loaf, is congratulations. I think you want to make as much money in TMS as possible, but to me, it's more just about proof of concept. Like if you're looking down at your net every day and you could see, this is what I do, man. I run these studies at the end of every month. I look at the stocks that I'm trading, am I profitable on them or not? And if I'm not, then my strategy on them is not working. It's pretty simple. And I try to do the same strategy for all stocks, which is why I'm sticking with very, very specific rules and what we're looking at, right? And so that way it's easy to sort of justify what strategies are working and what else isn't. And a shout out to you, my friend Ponzi Fonzie. It's been a long time since we've done shout outs like that. So I hope everything's good for everybody. The only position I'm in right now is short Citigroup. And as Neil mentioned, man, looking Bitcoin 46.8. It's not.
It doesn't seem to want to go.
I haven't traded. You know what? We can look at. I mean, we'll look at coin.
Well, it just turned. I'm gonna just very quickly because the chart. Remember, I was saying we're trending back up. So this is what was going on in Bitcoin. I got into Mars, it got through VWAP, then this right turn just happened. So it just made that little bit of a curl. That could mean Mara. I'm going to tighten things up. I was going to look for this to hold all the way to VWAP, but if I'm going against the grain, I can tighten it up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I got back into Micron, but there was one thing I would add to TMS. It's an obvious point. The other reason why the simulator is good is to get proficient with your trading platform. Like it's, you know, like if a level break's happening, it's like, okay, my mechanics are punch in, use stop order to get in, set a stop, get my orders out, set trailing stops, like that kind of a thing. Like how do I fill on a certain gateway? What is my routing key? Those are all very important because you don't want to be thinking about that when you go to execute a trade. You don't want to be thinking about what key am I hitting right now? What am I using to punch in? What is that? Is it F8? Is it Control Alt Shift? Or what? Like that's another thing that you should get proficient in. When you're in TMS, which I don't know. Like we used to put people to the ringer actually practicing on the keys. Like it was, when we started on our floor, like it was a thing where just make a bunch of trades, do this, practice using this gateway and that, so that the mechanics were just down when you had to make a trade. It's like practicing your foul shots. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously they don't count for anything when you're in the gym, but if you get the mechanics down, then it's not in your head. It's just going through the motions. Anyways, just wanted to get to that. Anurag saying, do you see a flat bottom break trade in Lucid tomorrow? Excuse me. I don't want to joke about it, but it's probably a flat bottom break trade in Lucid once a week because it only goes down. I don't know necessarily. The problem with Lucid and it breaking down is it's starting to condense a little bit here. And it gets low enough. I don't know what my daily, there we go. Now it just filled out. So if you look at Lucid, most of the big down days are after it pops. See what's happening? Like it bounces up and then you get the good down move. It bounces up, then you get the good down move. When it's taking out bottoms, it's not really doing so very violently. It doesn't mean it can't down to here, but that hasn't been the better trade. It's been the slow bleed and short the pop situation, which has generally been the way to make the best money on Lucid. So yeah, Lucid is at a 52-week low. If it breaks 360, it's probably worth a shot. I don't know how automatic it is. There's nothing good to say about the price action on this stock. Now that you pointed it out to me, I'll probably put it on the iPad and have a good look-see if it does take out that low. But it's not automatic. I generally prefer shorting pops in a name like this. I've said the same thing about Nikola. You tend to get the better moves that way, or the better opportunities.
Yeah, somebody said Nikola was moving around.
Really?
I mean, honestly, guys, like saving, we got out at 540 on NVIDIA. We saved ourselves $4 right there. We got out of this trade on AMD That's not so good at 149.60. Let's see if that one can bounce around as well.
Excuse me.
All right, PTON. Let's have a double check on this one. Yeah, see, there's that flat bottom break that we just talked about right there, breaking through 630. So that could be something right there on Peloton, breaking through 630. We talked about it. It's all the way down to 617. I just wasn't sure about it. So let's double check in on Unity as well. Oh, that's too bad. We're waiting, and I don't have a look. We were waiting at 61 on Unity. How low did we go? Wow, 63s. That's too bad. We're waiting down there. We talked about how we like that one. What else is moving around? Is SoFi? I got a warning on my... Okay, so here's another one that could break the bottom. I'm a pretty simple trader, guys, honestly. Like, I know that there's a lot of, like, talk about the trades that I've been in the last couple of days. It's really, really simple. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about here on Alibaba. It's the same trade, right, over and over again. Alibaba gives a base. You either believe in it or you don't. Like, this is 13 cents, 15 cents worth of risk to make 60. Like, it's just, it got all the way back to the 200 period MA. And again, I had too many outs here. We would have liked to have held something for 72, but it's just, let it come down, let it show you the bottom, and then go to the long side on that. It's pretty simple. You can almost do it like every single day on every single name. You just got to have a catalyst. Like, look at Citigroup, man. We knew the banks were weak. So again, as it's cruising up here, makes the weak move, identifies it's weak, comes right back into the open, we shorted it again. The rest is history. I mean, the trades are very, very simple, man. And it's just, what I got to do is do a better job of holding on to something for a little bit longer. I see Nike moving around a little bit here.
Just very quickly.
Oh, it's Nike just broke the bottom, sure.
Yeah, Mark S. was asking, no, it was a question, discuss the factors that lead us to enter a trade. That's what we do pretty much all day long. And if we talk about a trade and you're like, hey, why'd you get into that one? Just ask that question in real time. But I don't think we, very rarely, it usually be like if you're not on camera, maybe it's during the midday where you get into position, you just know there's a position, you haven't discussed why I like the stock. That's what we're doing pretty much the entire day. So if that's not clear, sometimes we speak too fast. I know I'm guilty of that. You can always just ask, hey, why'd you like this here? And then there was another question about the early imbalances, just a quick look-see. The only thing of interest on the early imbalances, Ford's 1.4 million to the buy side. Remember you saying there was something about a potential breakout on Ford? I'll double check.
Oh, it's just 12 bucks. It's not.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's there yet.
Pfizer's like 900,000, but that's about it. There's nothing that stands out, and none of the big cap tech names are in there on the early look for the imbalances. That'll be this feed here, BRKR. So as I said, Ford 1.4 million to buy is the early look, and then Pfizer 900,000 as well. So it doesn't mean that the stock is going to go up, by the way, if it has an early look imbalance. But if it was trending to the upside, let's just say, well, for a second there I thought that was going to load. But if it was trending to the upside, maybe I'd look at some kind of a trend trade. But Ford, unless you're the market makers are probably having a good day on Ford, just kind of inside the 7 cent range. There's nothing to do there. I don't really see how you're going to do much of anything in 40 minutes on Ford if it's not going to take out the tops. So yeah, it looks pretty uninteresting on Ford, despite the fact there is an early look imbalance on it.
Yeah, you know what? To me, I think looking at early looks is a great idea right now. You still got a little bit of time to go. The market's really flat. I mean, if there's anything to look at right now, we've already called this move to the upside. I talked about being bullish this morning. So that's good. And that's why all the positions I've ever been in were long until we found the banks and until we found Nike right now. So we have a new position alert. So let's go. New position alert. So this is a small one. NVIDIA profit taking. Guys, we're out of that $4 ago on NVIDIA. So that one was definitely well traded. And we're going to talk more about that on tonight's market recap show. Join me and Raider Trader to come through at the end of the day. So we'll tag Raider Trader. We'll do all that. You can go find that there in the chat. But what we're trying to do with Nike right now is, again, so to that person in the chat there, I don't think you're going to find like too many traders or shows outside of what we're doing here that will describe. I mean, not only am I describing it, again, find another sticky note and then send it to me, because I always want to get better. So I'm trying to improve myself as we get going. And I don't think there's a better one out there. So you guys let me know if you do find one. I'll be much appreciated. And what we're doing right now, though, is we are trying to figure out Nike. So what we're doing now is we're under the 200 and we're under VWAP, and then we're protected by 103. So let's just see if this wants to go. I'm still waiting for this trade. Hopefully, like I keep saying, hopefully this will come in. Yeah, Disney's another name there, JP Sweet. I do want to look at that. But let's just see what Nike does. Why am I short? Okay, we're down 1% on the day. The market's up. The market is close to being up on ES as well. So we're flat on ES. Flat on both markets, let's call it like that, okay? Nike, significantly down, right? So when you're down 1% and the market's flat, we're trying to find weak names. So we're short 62. We just started this. Ideally, I would have liked to get short 68s here at the 50-period moving average. Now, if this goes against us, we'll average into when it goes, I don't know, when it goes against us, the only time we're going to get filled, we will take more shares up here near 80. VWAP, because it's so close to my out of 103, you know, that's really the key. I'm not going to get out at 102.90. I'm going to give it 10 more cents. So let's just let this trade develop. We'll see what the futures are doing. Obviously, if they're blasting right now to the upside, then we'll stay away. But I should be favoring, I'm going against my own strategy here a little bit because we should be favoring longs. We're trading above VWAP. To me, that's generally a long thing. If we had anchor VWAP in here, I would just anchor it probably to the bottom here and then figure out exactly where we are, but I think it will be somewhere close. So we're still well above and we're starting to go a little bit higher here. So let's start. This is a starter position. We don't really have any shares on. We're going to give it a little bit of time to see if we can get a little bit more as we start to head towards VWAP and the 50-period MA. So at most, this is the math I'm doing. Like at most, it'll be a 40-cent hit. At not even. It won't even be that high. It'll be a 20-cent hit. Hopefully, our average position will be somewhere around 80 cents. Then if we get up to 103, that's 20-cent hit. And if our average price is 80 cents, then I'm fine. Or our average price is 80, then I'm fine with the move back in here. So yeah, so far, that's going to be a little bit of a build. But thing is, it's 322.
Guess where Disney is right now?
The market's 90 even. I already know because I saw someone in the chat. But
yeah, okay.
I don't know if there's a trade there.
Well, it just made a double bottom. The only reason I'm looking at it because it's not just any level for Disney. If anyone's been following Disney, your 200-period moving average, let me zoom in so you can see that better. You got a bad wick. There it is. The 200-period moving average has been a bit of a thing the last week and a half on Disney. We've been making bounces off of it. So that's 89.6 where it stands. That is also a double bottom going right back into the first day of the trading year on January 2nd. So it's it's already hit there and made one little bounce. If you're trading Disney and you zoomed out, like this bounces at 65, where you know 60 is that level that we bounce on the second, and it's also that 200 period. Once it starts going, you can probably have a 70 long where you risk 10 cents, and it goes up to 90. That's like a scalp trade where it's against the grain, but you have a reason why you like it. If it holds a higher low here, it's kind of appealing. The other side of it, if it breaks 60, it's right now 15 cents from that low. That is a nice looking trade. We do have to worry about the fact that there's only 35 minutes left in the day. So, is it going to have time to break the bottom? It could still happen. You still have over half an hour left for Disney. So I don't mind the idea. It's a weak stock, to be sure. If you take out that low, I just want there to be some time for it to go. So I'm back into Micron. I might go scalp mode on this one. I don't want to give it all the way to VWAP because I think VWAP is going to be a separate trade. Hampton's Trader says you stay away from Disney. That's fair. If there's a stock that you really just find that you don't do well on and you don't like, I remember there was a point where we didn't formally ban it because I don't think you could do that back in the day when Sean and I had our floor. Like you couldn't actually block. Right now I can go into the back office and I could block a symbol for a trader. And that's part of the risk parameters if they stink on it or you just wanted to do it. Back in the day you couldn't, but we actually had to stop people from trading BAC. People would make money on Citigroup. Anytime the office traded BAC, the office lost on BAC. It was the weirdest thing in the world. And if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. I found back in the meme days, if I was trading a weed name, I would do okay on Sundial, and I'm not pretty much nothing else. So I would trade Sundial, and that's why everyone jokes every now and then. Yeah, Neil, Sundial's moving, because that's the stock that I used to trade when I was expressing trades in some of those, some of the cannabis names. Which, by the way, did we talk about Tilray this afternoon?
Nope.
If there was a missed opportunity to slap the fail on, there was a fairly reasonable amount of mocking of Tilray, if that's the right word to use. I don't know that it is. And then they report and then it fails. Like, look at the high, 250 on the daily. It fails 250. Well, you might say to yourself, yeah, but how did that actually look at the open? Well, I don't know, like immediately failing 250 and then dropping 20%? Yeah, that's pretty much how it was gapped up, and then it failed it and then gave you essentially an entry somewhere here, like in the 45 range. It was at 220 before you blink. That's 10% before you blink an eye, and now it's just holding at 210. That is the pop in trade fade. The problem was looking for longs at the open. If you were just deciding to pick on Tilray, that is a pretty easy entry. There's your fail of the high, you're looking short, it gives you the short through the low of the day, and then it goes back to doing what it does best. And CGC as well, they had an offering and got punked today.
So here's our out. Yeah, CGC is a disaster. Here's our out in NVIDIA, 540. There's where NVIDIA is right now, 535. All right. People can save 50% on Resident Evil right now. Okay, that's nice. What I want to do was look at Take-Two Interactive. These guys are the guys doing Grand Theft Auto, right? So I know it's Rockstar Games, but I think Take-Two owns them or a stake in them. So again, very, very simple trading here. We've really loved Roblox. We talked about Roblox, and actually, my good friend, their Raider Trader, I see he's in the chat. What's up, buddy? What is he? I'm revealing a new nickname for the Mag 7 in the after show. Okay, Andrew. Okay, we'll see. Interesting stat. So join us tonight. See, this guy knows how to promote. Join us tonight in the recap show when we reveal the new name for the Mag 7. Gonna be something to do with 6 or 5 for sure. But here's Roblox breaking lower right now. We like Roblox. I really like this name. So anything coming back in, I think we can try that back down into 41, 42 bucks here for Roblox. So let's see if we can get something to come through on this one. Back into the $40 mark. This might be something that we start to buy at some point here on Roblox. So that could be something at some point. I'll let Neil do it. We'll do the campus read in a second. So Nike again, just coming back down in. Maybe that was 55s. I mean, honestly, I was waiting at 53 just because that was the bottom of this move. I don't know what this market wants to do. I would expect it to bleed the rest of the afternoon, but that's not necessarily what's going to happen. NVIDIA is really getting shit canned right here, breaking through 535 again. I'm glad we're out of it, and that's whoopsies. That's possibly what's hitting right now. There's a little island there. We'll short that if it gets up there. You're in Disney puts. Pray for you? No, honestly, the minute you're asking someone to pray for you, you're in the wrong trade. Just let Disney work, my guy. Disney, it's going to work. You're fine.
I mean, it's downward trend.
Yeah, it's already breaking. You're in the right trade. This Disney trade is good because you know where I think this goes now? 85, 84, $85. And then if you're in puts, you should already know if they're reporting anytime soon. So let's double check for you. It's February 7th. So well away for that. The market's going to move so dramatically. We have numbers this week, and then we have the Fed on the 31st. Plus, I'm expecting the market to pull back as well. So this is the right name to be short, man. I think you can get away with short Disney for a monster. I think you can get away with short Affirm for a lot of money, and I think you can get away with short Coinbase for a lot of cash as well. So the 3 shorts that I would be on right now that Disney broke 90, I really like that. There's probably better names as well, but Disney, Affirm, Coinbase. 3 shorts that I really like, and all the banks.
Yeah, we're pointing out the resistance the banks are at right now. They need to punch through. They're in a world, when you're at massive resistance, it works both ways. The only thing with Coinbase, of course, is remember the ETF. You could get an announcement any day. We're talking just now about learning. Every day we talk about that. We talked about TMS, traders learning in a simulator. Well, guess what? The campus program is back on, baby. It's a new year. If you are residing in Canada and you want to trade and you want to learn to trade and you want to trade on a professional trading platform that we trade on every single day here at Day Trade the World, then I think this is going to be for you. Everyone always asks, what is it? So I always run it down. Look, you're going to learn the basics about the market. You have to know those fundamentals. That is key. You're going to learn this platform, P-Pro8, that all of us trade here on the show. So it's a professional platform built by traders for traders. Then you're going to get to go into the simulator. You will get one-on-one coaching throughout. It is fantastic. You learn about trading strategies, reading the tape, that kind of stuff while in the simulator. And of course, how to use functionally the platform to execute your trades. Then you get to do what everyone wants to do. You get to go live. You're still going to get your one-on-one. You get to place live trades in the market with the opportunity to become a fully funded trader. This program is free. The only thing it costs you is your time and, of course, the effort to go ahead and sign up by checking out that QR code below, going to campus.daytradetheworld.com. It is perfect if you happen to want it as like a side gig because it's about 16 hours a week. So it's a bit of a, it can be like a little bit of a side hustle at that time, but you do need to put the time and effort in, and you do have to be located in Canada to take advantage of this. So apply now if you're interested. There's no reason not to as far as I'm concerned. It's free. F-R-E-E. If you're interested in trading and if you have a passion for it, I think it's for you. Obviously a bit biased because we've chosen this as careers, so you know we like trading, but if you like trading, I mean, it's a fantastic opportunity there for you guys. So just going back into the markets here, I am short one stock. The only thing I'm in, it's Micron. And if you're a chip name and you're red today, you suck. There's no, I was thinking of a more nuanced way to say that, but Micron's having a bad day. So this time, look, I got a stop out that was a relatively tight stop. I'll admit it. But when it got up past 83.40 and got to 45, I just put a stop right at a 45 level. This time when it gets to that same level, instead of punching out, I get in, giving it past that top, and then we go into scalp mode because we ended up taking an extra fill. So we're going to work the bottom end of the range because the market doesn't seem to want to break out of its 30-handle range on the NASDAQ. So we'll work the bottom end of the range for a scalp trade here on Micron. Just not a very good-looking name. But on the daily chart, one that, like when I tell you it's weak on the day, down 2%, this is a stock which has been in a great upward channel with an opportunity to at least retest some of those highs. It's not the best sign in the world that after making a higher low, it's not revisiting that top. That's what I would have liked to see. I would have liked to see this at least retest that top the way the chips have been going today. But the channel has been fantastic on this. Intel did a similar channel and then it broke that sucker out. I think Micron, the problem is the chance to have broken that channel, I think, was when everything else, like AMD broke its channel to the upside and went higher, NVDA broke highs, Intel broke its channel and went higher. I think Micron missed its shot to break out of this channel. So, you know, respect it if it can get back there. Is Pfizer moving?
Oh, I was on the wrong. Oh, because I logged in and out. No, I put an order out on Pfizer, and I was like, Pfizer? Like, no.
My first thought was, did it break 30?
Yeah, that's again, that's another one, right?
It did not break. Pfizer did not break $30.
No, not yet. Didn't it break yesterday or no? Because let's just look at this trade because this could be tomorrow's trade today.
On Tuesday.
Yeah, so it already broke it. So, so for me, Pfizer, like this is going to be a monster trade. If we can break above like this 31 area right there, 31.50, that to me is the breakout trade. So we'll wait for Pfizer 31.50. I'm not going to get excited till then, but a 30 is key as well. I mean, we love 30. That is for sure.
I just recently bought it down. 26 was the pandemic bottom on Pfizer.
Yes. So there's a lot of traders buying it. I saw Josh Brown was mentioning.
It was one of those
today.
levels that like, come on.
Yeah.
Moderna, whatever.
We're going to be lining up some new guests for the podcast as we continue to talk about that. Okay, here we go again. It's not going to be a big one, but John Travolta is going to be like, hey, man, you can't get blood from a stone. At least we're throwing down some dubs. There it is, man. Another dub right there for Nike. Let's just see if it pulls back in. I mean, I don't know. We have the low of the day right now. Let's let this thing fall, man. I mean, we've already called it. We got out of AMD. Look where we got out of AMD. This is an NFT. You know, this is an NFT. I mean, you're buying the dips, you're holding all the way, you know, but whatever, it doesn't matter. It's not an NFT. I hate NFTs. Okay, let's just keep on moving on that one. Nike's not going to move. Citigroup is right here as well. We'll wait to see if that one's going to do anything. Did I buy FXI? So very good. Anurag, you must be a Trader Stay Late member, my friend, because the recap show, we talk about all of these sectors all of the time. And I actually think, Anurag, that this might be a play very, very soon. And that is going to be buying this dip here in FXI. FXI is the large cap China names. So I tweeted something out yesterday, and again, I hope you guys all watch, because we go over the tweets live on the show every single day. I have a couple good ones to go over today. That's right. We just turning green on the NASDAQ. Let's go, it's on. Okay, so let's go down here. I just want to find one thing here. It's about reversion trades, right? And that's what I'm trying to find. Hey, there we go. There it is, it's right here. So, all right, so this is from yesterday. The most crowded trades of 2013, right here. So let's just zoom this in a little bit if we can. So here it is. The most crowded trades as of December 2023, not of all of 23. Long Mag 7. So when everybody is in the same boat, look out for it to tip. Long Mag 7, short China equities. Remember, reversion trade, and that's what I posted when I saw this. Almost feels like all the opposite could hit, right? Long Japan equities. Japan right now at all-time highs. Right, a lot of people long Japanese yen, long the equities. We just had Frank Caberna. Could be a short. When everybody, the best bear opportunities is when everyone's bullish. Look it up, okay? Yield curve. Again, should have listened to Frank on that one. I don't know that too much about it. Short REITs, probably long REITs now, and then short the 30-year treasury going back on yield curve. So we'll have to just watch out for this. We'll see what's going on, but it's right now long Magnificent 7, well overthought about right now in the market. So a lot of the time, you know, when one thing goes one way, maybe it's the other. So I want to thank you for asking me about FXI. And oops, there's NVIDIA. Look at this. You want to talk about overextension? I do want to sell some NVIDIA. Might have missed the opportunity. But FXI rate, now that I'm seeing the NASDAQ possibly going red, NVIDIA might not get 540 again, probably tomorrow. Tomorrow's trade today, short NVIDIA 540. We'll talk about that tomorrow morning. Join me here at 8:30. FXI could be that trade. It's just been beat up so much. There's a lot of value in PDD, in Baidu, in Alibaba, in some of the, I was going to say in some of the Chinese autos, because they've been getting hit lately, like NIO, like Li Auto, like XPEV, all this kind of stuff. They're all near bottoms. EV is a little different because a lot of the EV space is getting killed. But like Alibaba, Tencent, Baidu, like these are all supposed to be the equivalent of Amazon, of Google, of all of these names, yet when you look at them, they're not all near these highs, you know, that Google is, that Amazon is, that a lot of these names are. You know, there's a lot more to go for a lot of these names. So I do think that there could be some love at some point for some of these Chinese big cap names, not Dada or DD or Luckin Coffee, just these big names. That's why FXI is interesting. So thank you so much for that talk there. Anurag, and you must be a Trader Stay Late member. I'll see you tonight.
Yes, sir. The only thing I will add to that is between the EV space and some of the, I guess, the other Chinese tech names, remember, at no point was the Chinese government hating on the EV space. That's actually been a very well supported sector for that market. So you're not necessarily worried about that type of headline. You really just got to worry about making money on cars, because not everybody does. So you I think that's a little bit safer. That said, some of those stocks are disgusting. I like PDD. When it comes to the if you're comparing like Bob and them, and just look at the chart of PDD. That's been my thing for the last year. Just look at that chart compared to others. I did get a fill on Micron, but I wanted to flip to. I'm not going to say that about Chinese EVs and not acknowledge what the heck is going on with NIO today. NIO down 4.7%, and anyone that was asking, you know where it's headed. If it doesn't get to 7 this time, I'll be a little bit surprised. But all roads have been leading back to that $7 level. It failed to break out above the 50 200 period. It failed the 50 period just today. It's headed for $7 again. So get your alert set for NIO 7. It's been a thing for a while. They can't get out of their way. At least the stock can't get out of its way. I shouldn't say they can't get out of their way. I'm going to talk about the price action here. Like, I'm not the expert to fundamentally start talking about Li Auto or NEO. I haven't done that much work on it, but the chart speaks for itself. I think we see that $7 at some point in here. For profit, the NEO graph gets you angry. You know what? It doesn't make me angry. It actually, it makes me see opportunity because it's getting to a big level. If you're long the stock, obviously it gets you angry. Like, what gets me angry was looking at Disney for a long time when I owned the stock. You'll care more about the downtrend when you're sitting in that bad boy, or looking at Mobileye last week. But speaking of Disney, we're not going to get the bottom. It's now 340, so it's not going to break the bottom. And if it does, we're kind of running out of time for that to happen. It's just slowly grinding down there. 89.60, of course, being a double bottom. I don't think we're going to get a chance to see it, unfortunately. Not much change on the early look, except Citigroup is now here. Ford was the biggest one. Citigroup's an early look of 1.5 million to the downside. So not much of a change. And I didn't see the number.
Oh, yeah, what's the number, Brendo? He'll find it for us.
Oh, that's why I didn't see it.
Is it in there?
It's 2 million.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
2 million to the buy side. That's about as small as it gets. That's basically zero. The imbalance, the total imbalance for the New York right now, early look, is 2 million, which is essentially a zero imbalance. The only position I'm in is Micron. That was like a reload after getting in, so we took the hit. We got back into the short. Now I'm just looking for the low of the day here on Micron. Christopher Mulligan says, bye-bye coin.
All I had to do was
bye-bye coin. Bye-bye coin.
Wow.
Also, Bitcoin. If you're still watching Bitcoin,
he's not doing
which
shit.
You are. Well, this is sort of the thing. Remember, Coinbase has its own reasons to move with or without Bitcoin making a move. So it's a slight move down, but Coinbase taking out those lows. Bitcoin's chilling out right now. So this is a Coinbase thing that you're seeing through the lows.
Next time, before I say it's like one of my top short ideas, I'm actually going to get short because, like Neil just mentioned, man, it's not doing anything and it's going to the downside right now is Coinbase. So damn it, Sean. Nice move, man. We could have just made $2. We're going to short the bottom of this break right now. Bitcoin's doing absolutely nothing, and Coinbase is making that move down. So I don't know. It's not like it's rapid selling. It's not really. But look at the market, man. We got out of, and again, like this is what it's about, dudes. Like honestly. We got out of NVIDIA $8 ago. It's hard to have $8 winners. Like we just put $8 in our pocket on this move down. Okay, we're also waiting for Nike to collapse all over itself. I guess that's not happening. And then we'll wait now. Oh, we got into Coinbase, by the way. So new trade alert. Right now it's Coinbase. So here we go. Let's watch it and see where we go. So where's going to be our out on Coinbase? Again, nice little move. It did take that bottom. It looks like when we got short, it did go down to 65. Where are we short? We're short 75. Okay, so I would say it's going to have to get back $1, like 152, well, not even 152.70. Yeah, I guess that's $1 from here. So let's see if Coinbase wants to make that money and go to the downside for us here again. So let's go Coinbase. Let's go Nike to the downside. Let's go Citigroup. Your boy is now net short. And well, we've been net short this whole time. We flipped it over. Remember what I said, man. Have the abilities. Have the abilities. We were long all morning. Every single trade was long. All right. Now we're feeling different kind of ways. We're going to go short and see what we can do. So here goes Coinbase. Let's see if it continues to go down. Thank you to whoever that was in the chat. We know this is hot garbage. At least I don't think the stock is necessarily hot garbage, but this last move up, 400% up from that $40 bottom, just seems to be an absolute crack move based on approval of ETFs that we know is going to happen. So honestly, that little blowout to the top side right there, unless Ant comes coming through and tries to fix this problem, I'm not sure this is going to fix itself. So let's wait to see. And if you're short Coinbase, I feel like you could just get out at like 162, 163. You know, give yourselves $10 worth of space. I think you can have a $100 winner. Bringing this thing back into $50. So let's just see. Like, imagine what's going to happen. Bitcoin is not failing right now, and Coinbase has just pulled. Like, Bitcoin is near the highs. Like, what's Bitcoin's high? 47 or 48 right now of the year of the.
What, today?
No, of this whole move.
Oh, of this move.
Yeah. So Coinbase literally has pulled back $40 on 190. Coinbase pulled back 20% on a Bitcoin nothing. So what happens, and I don't know, I'm just talking rhetorically. You guys tell me, like, I don't know. What happens when Coinbase wants to actually make a move? You know, it could make the move up. I mean, if Bitcoin rips, Coinbase will rip your face off, which is why I'm saying 160 is your out, 161, 162. But just like I know we've made, or I've made some people, because they've let me know, I hope you guys are out. I should actually ask some of you if you've got out. I know a lot of you took the Affirm short at 50.51. That is now Bank City right now. I'm getting the same feelings for Coinbase. What's up, B?
Brought to you by IG.com. Trade Forex pairs like Euro USD with spreads as low as 0.8 pips and zero commissions at IG. Terms and conditions apply.
Thank you very much there, Brendan, and shout out to Frank and IG. But the market has started to, look, we got back to 16.8 on the NASDAQ, so you went top to bottom once again. The other stock that we were short this afternoon, because I always say, there's almost never a day that there isn't something I like in one direction or another, right? Like if something is relatively weak, I'm going to take a shot at it, maybe take some pot shots. Okay, I took pot shots at Intel with some tight stop short, never really letting it get that far out of pocket. And then when it came to the top and the market hit a top, we shorted that into VWAP. Should have held on to it. I'm now into Micron instead, but it doesn't matter which one you took to the short side in the afternoon. They are starting to come back. And the key was both of these stocks were red when the chips were going nuts. That's the thing that matters to me. Like you can always find relative strength and weakness somewhere. There's a strong stock every day. There's a weak stock pretty much every day, and it's your job to find the trades off of those if you can do so. So Intel is making a flush. It's back underneath 48. Almost said 58. I think this could even. It has some room to go further. You're making a lower high here. Now I would like to see it open underneath $48. That's just for me. I'd like to see, give us a top, give me a lower high, and I'll prefer that a little bit more going into tomorrow. But this and Micron, I'm still liking to the south side, at least for today. I want to get back over to some big cap tech names. The imbalances are coming in about 2 minutes. The NASDAQ just turned red.
Oh my God.
And the bounce is about to come in 2 minutes. We're pretty much at the lows. I actually am moving my trail on Micron. The low of the day sits about 20 cents from here. So I'm going to trail this one out at about 10s. Microsoft is trailing and possibly going red to green. This is barely moved as the market's pulling back. So what I think here is if the market comes out with a buy imbalance and it pops to the upside, I'm looking for like a 350, like the time. Fade. If it can pop to the high on some kind of buy imbalance, I'd short in front of 376. It's the closest thing I can see to a top that sets up that kind of a trade.
I mean, look at this. Look at this NVIDIA, man. We've just saved ourselves. Like now we're all the way back into VWAP. I cannot believe that out. Like I'm almost more over the moon there than that else. Mateo, what's up? Yeah, I mean. The reason why we know Coinbase is breaking is because we're him. No, just joking. I don't know. I mean, we just played that bottom. We saw the momentum. And like I told you, I try to make trading as simple as possible. I mean, Coinbase was breaking the bottom. Could have been a false break, but we're just prepared. We'd get out if that was the case. Here comes Coinbase in, and we did it again, man. It's another 40-cent winner. We only took out 20% right there at 50 flat. So we're short now 76. We should have probably short a better price, but whatever. Beggars can't be choosers, and we'll just wait to see where the market goes from here right now. As I love the market recap show, but it's tiring. So make sure that you guys join me again every single day as traders stay late, and we do the show for you. No extra cash coming this guy's way except for the love from all of you, and that's what I do it for. So hopefully you guys could join me today with my guy, Raider Trader. Glad to have him back on there. I even book my own guests, so that's great to have him come through as well. 151.33 right now. Get the hell down, Coinbase. You've seen your best days, bro. I've already told you that, so get down. Citigroup. Let's go. That's trying to get down to the low of the day as well. And then honestly, we were short Nike right here. We were short Nike in the futures when the futures were up here. So we are now 50 handles lower, and Nike is just like, nah, man, we good. We good. So it doesn't want to go to the downside. So we'll wait for that one. Tape 2 level reading. This is what you're looking for. Watch out for this to break through right now. Bye-bye. If we can get a little bit more action on that, that's 22,000 shares. It's not even that many. We can break that on Coinbase. Come on, Kathy, sell your shares. And let's see where this one goes from there. We are bidding 151.20s. So if it does break down, we'll probably will get that fill. Part of me is thinking we just get out ahead of that and then see what happens after that. So maybe we'll do that. The imbalances are now out. So want to go over to
Citigroup 1.4 million to sell side, Ford 1.3, Apple 1.1 million to sell, Amazon 900,000 to the sell side. Those are the big ones. Apple, Amazon, 1 million each approximately, and then Citigroup, which I know you're in. That's why normally I probably wouldn't say a Citigroup imbalance because 1.4 million. Usually those will pair off, but that is a decent size imbalance. I'm out of my last trade at 350, just out in front of 350. We did get pretty much the low of the day there. Like Micron down 2.25%. I can't say this enough. If you're a chip name and you're down today, something is a bit wrong, and you got to watch out for that tomorrow. So that's you, Micron. That's you, Intel. I'm going to check Marvell just because I didn't do that. That's actually Marvell's down as well. How the heck is Marvell going to be? How are you down Marvell when NVIDIA had the day that it did? So this is another stock, chip name, that did not participate. I want to file those ones away. But there were opportunities in the other direction, and it came out 1.3 million to sell. That's billion, sorry, 1.3 billion to the sell side. I can cancel that notion on Microsoft. I wanted to short a potential pop. If it came out of buy and bounce, that would have faded any move into 376 at that high. I'll go ahead and cancel that order and cancel the stop. But that's a setup I do like sometimes. If I think we're going to have a reversal and there's a stock close enough to the high of the day, I'll put the order in and see what happens. But no move up for the short in Microsoft there.
Yeah, we just took 58s there on Nike. Nothing happening. We'll close the trade with a bang. Yeah, right. 5 cents or something on that one. It's not moving, so we're going to get out. We're just going to focus on names that we've destroyed today. Again, Citigroup, going to be another top stock. I mean, my number 2 stock today, next to NVIDIA, is going to be this one. Short Citigroup and down in. So this is what I'm saying. Have the ability to trade so many different things, right? Banks. Tech, for me, it doesn't matter. As long as it's setting up, we're there. Coinbase, kind of disappointing, man. I mean, not making that move. We just took another out here at 40 something. So both
my chart, guys.
Both of our outs right here it's good, thanks. On Coinbase at 50. So hopefully it falls back down in. Maybe I'll just put the stop now at 52. I mean, I got to get over there and start getting ready for the show. 152.02. We'll just get out of 100%. We're already out of 40% for a quarter. I wish this would go into the auction a little bit. Not the auction, but I wish that those market on close orders would have sent this thing reeling, but instead it just didn't do much. So we'll wait. If we get stopped out of it, it'll be take a quarter, lose a quarter, but I really feel like this short was probably legit. It's just for right now, it's not. So we're going to have to watch out for that. And then Citigroup, I might as well cancel some of this. We don't need it to do too much more damage on it. We're already out. We have less than 10% left on this. Those outs were the key ones right there. That was a good one, but still the same as all of this. So now we'll just get out of the rest of it. And just watch out. Coinbase is all the way back up. Maybe we get a flush at 355, but other than that, it must have been a small buy imbalance on Coinbase.
Yeah, that's sort of the thing. Like sometimes, regardless of what the direction the imbalance comes out, you can get like these relief rallies, or sometimes it'll fall back if the market's at the high at 350 or 355. I want to shout out ScarJoe Rabbit here. Neil, some of the chips down, not all chips. You mean some chips down because Samsung and MCHP warned. This is something that we did discuss in the morning. If you do your early morning reading, you would have known Samsung did warn about potential demand and some issues with revenues going forward. So they were down overnight. And you saw some bleed. That's why Micron can be a little bit weaker. That's why ARM, Intel can be a little bit weaker. That's part of the reason why I opened the day looking for some shorts in Intel as the market was holding lower. So again, it's just a matter of like prepping. Sometimes you get something off of the overnight trade. Other times you don't. And if you watch the show on a daily basis, like I said, 350, you tighten stops, look for exit points. Like right when the imbalances came out, Micron, I didn't even see it on the imbalance locator, but that was the bottom, and then it reverses. I am always looking for a good reversion trade at 350. Doesn't mean you'll find it, but it does mean you can try to get out at the bottom or the top, whatever the market is giving you in this particular case. In this case, it ended up being the lows on Micron. I bet you I can pull up Intel, and it bounced. See, it's not rocket science. Intel was at the low of the day. 350 hits. Look at the reversal. There's a reason we go over this and sort of ad nauseum talk about 350, 355, and what we're doing with executing and getting out of trades with tighter stops. Because what's the point of being on that move to the downside and then holding it all the way back into VWAP? That's a big time reverse. Intel wasn't even a buy and bounce, but look at this. And the same thing's happening on Micron. Now you're back up at the highs. The NASDAQ is like, we don't even give a darn about that little dip. Failing 16.8? Nope, we're green again.
Oh,
so the market is green. You can't stop it, man. Like, that's unbelievable. Like, let's be real for a second. It was shorts that were working for this back end of the day up until literally 4 minutes ago when the imbalances came out and then everything getting back and the NASDAQ's looking like it wants to close green. So it's good to get out of your shorts at the bottom. Hopefully, if you're able to get that, fantastic. And I bet you the market, I'm not going to say it. I was about to say bet you the market closes green after that however many days. Like, it was really nasty the first couple of sessions to that downside. Apple hit that 100. Now you've been a little bit more bullish. It's been trickier than the rip your face off, but it's still going to be a great end of the day. You're ending near the highs above that 16.8 on the NASDAQ with only 4 minutes to go, where we all get to find out what the new name is for the Mag 7.
Yeah, exactly, guys. Content is king, and get ready for some of that after market with the recap show with Raider Trader. I'm very excited to have him on. It should be a lot of fun. There's the out on Coinbase. It just, like I said, man, 25 cents in, 25 cents out. Pretty simple risk to reward. We would have held it for much more risk back up to this, but we have to be flat at the end of every single day. I think Coinbase is a short until we break through that 60 mark. We talked about that to the upside, 161, 162. I believe in this name as a short until then. But like I said, man, no rest for the wicked. So I'm going to go over to the desk, do this, and then guess what? I'm back tomorrow. And then after that, we do it again, and then we have the podcast. We're really super busy around here. Please like, subscribe to all the streams, and I will catch everybody in a couple minutes. Only 3 minutes to go until the end of the day. I actually don't even know if there's earnings. I've been so busy today to find out. So we will check out on earnings as we go. But thank you so much for watching. Tomorrow, January 10th. KB Homes coming tomorrow after market close. Today after market close, we don't have anybody. So a little bit of safe there because I didn't look it up. So it's all good. Join me very, very soon with Raider Trader in about 20 minutes. It's the recap show. It's going to be a banger. I promise you that.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Shout out to you, Brian. We appreciate you as well. With just a couple of minutes to go, obviously there's not going to be any new trades on at this particular moment, but the market is trying to scream into those highs. Oddly enough, I did see NVIDIA wasn't bouncing, but what was bouncing in the chip space was AMD. AMD never got underneath VWAP. So that is one to file away here. It held 148. That 150 level, I think we get a crack at it tomorrow. What the heck is that line? Let me just give it that. I have an idea what I was doing with that trend line this morning when I drew it, but it's not that relevant right now. That 150 level looks like it could come right back into play tomorrow, but no breakout yet. But you set these things up and you're prepared for them, whether you're part of the breakfast club, whenever you like to do your work, whether you get up early to do it, which I prefer, whether you do your charting in the evenings, you want to mark off things like that 150 level on AMD because you know it's a big one. And then remember that it closed by being a little bit stronger. Not that NVIDIA didn't give you some strength, but the chips pull back. This held VWAP, it held highs. I always like things that are strong that close at the highs because it means that there's why do late buyers matter in a stock? Because late buyers hold overnight and are confident to hold overnight, whereas people, if a stock gets sold off and you end up at the lows or you end up pulling back too far, it means there wasn't enough confidence or buyers a lot of times. It's an oversimplification. There aren't always buyers that want to hold that sucker overnight. So I do like the look of late buyers here on AMD. I think it gives it a good opportunity for tomorrow's trade. The other thing that I want to end by at least talking a little bit about Tesla. This is a stock that we talk about trading it all the time, did not trade this once today. Tesla was a bit of a dog. The good news is it's trying to hold the lows, and quite frankly, it's at the 200 period moving average, which is one bounce off this level today. If it can bounce again tomorrow, the 50 period's right here at that 35 for a potential breakout. So I didn't trade Tesla today. I doubt I don't trade Tesla tomorrow based on this setup. We got about 30 seconds to go. Shout out to you, Monty. You have a good night as well. But I'd suggest personally that you stick around for the market recap show. So that's just my 2 cents, Monty. But if you got to go, you got to go. You know what you're doing here. We got Adara on the bell. She's in green on a green day, which is absolutely perfect. In a strong market, there's always something to trade. It's more fun when it is going to the upside, though you can make money short too. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and you know what to do. And just like that, the market's closed. We end up 0.9 on the NASDAQ here. Looks like the ES did not get green. Yeah, thanks a lot, S&P 500. Down 0.17. As we are in Sean will talk about this in the market recap show. There were a few sectors to blame. Tech was pretty strong, but it wasn't completely all roses. NVIDIA is going to end up closing at 31-ish. Give or take a couple of cents. So that's a pretty strong move in there for NVIDIA. Big shout out and a special thanks, of course, to Fabian and Ramin doing a fantastic job all day long on the ones and twos, making us look and sound fantastic. Special shout out. You guys saw Dare on the midday. Sharif was feeling a bit under the weather, so wasn't able to come in. She still delivered the lesson on dark pools, and Obi still knocked it out of the park, despite the fact he didn't even know he was going to be giving a lesson. So every single day, get your Learn On in the midday show, where it's all about teaching. I enjoy coming on there and doing a little bit more teaching for 10 to 15 minutes every single morning. Big thank you, of course, as always, to Frank Caberna. He's a great guest, and Brendan always doing a great job interviewing him. So thank you, Brendan. Thank you, Frank. Shout out to everybody in the chat. You know what's happening next. You've got Raider Trader. We'll see what happens. Curious about this Mag 7 rename. But I'm Neil, and you're headed to the desk. It's a market recap show. Go get him, Sean.
All right, we are here. Thank you so much for joining me again as I'm just logging into the stream and figuring this all out. You are now rocking with the best recap show, period. And we're going to go over everything today, including that major move upside, complete reversal in the NASDAQ. We started off with a little bearish activity and then just kept on climbing the rest of the day. Oops. That's right. Oh, okay. Those aren't my topics. I forgot to do them. So unless someone wants to go do the rundown, you can go do it, but I don't have it right now. All right, so we might have to, we could just use those. I don't know. It's fine. The same stuff as I always have, like sector recap, Raider Trader for the guest, Sean's tweets, stuff like that. No, it's not going to be good over there, guys. Anyways, okay, welcome. Starting off to a rough start. Right, this is the problem. You know, we talk about this all the time. We're just a small operation, although it seems pretty large around here sometimes. I will update that. Brendan's doing it right now. Yeah, just Trader Talk. Trader Talk, sector recap, and then maybe the second one about NVIDIA. Okay, so today, yes, I'm actually logging into my software. Good, all right, so everything's sort of coming together right now. All right, UNG today, worries about, let's click on this and just look at UNG on the weekly. It's a huge move back up to the upside right here. Let's go over and check out a day chart. UNG today, nope, we don't need to update our layout, that's fine. Wicked move back up to the daily average here of the 200 period, so 665. I would say if you had any kind of a profit on this name, you may want to look at that. Hard to pick the bottoms, but you get right back up to the 200 period moving average. The reason why I feel like that's, yeah, man, can't get any better than that. I like it. All right, nice move all the way back up to 660, 664. Look at this. This is why we do the show. I want to thank everybody for joining one more time. The 200 period MA. Right, we hit it up here at $8. We hit it again at 750. Do not make the mistake right there. Could come back in again, right? Watch out for that move. Like if you were logged here at 660, right? Boom. Now, this is kind of like a cup and handle. So look, everybody that bought here, right, got flushed out right now. Now they're starting to get back out and they're like, thank God we're out for flat. They're so happy to finally, anybody bought into this area right here on UNG. This is teaching here, right? They're probably getting out. Watch out for UNG to retrace back down in. Not to say it can't work, but that's the formation now you're looking for. Look at this. Here's the cup. Here's the handle, right? Gonna dip back in, possibly. It's a good setup. I like the way that looks. IWM, as the Russell pulls back today, down 0.89. Look for relative weakness. Small cap names, IWM, Russell 2000, weaker today than everything else. Russell down 0.1. The NASDAQ saves the day today. What a great move it was. We talked about earlier, we had our spidey senses open for the long. We only had longs in the morning. We'll talk about NVIDIA. It's on the board. Trade recap, we'll do that. We'll flip those up with Raider. That's okay. We'll do that. We'll do NVIDIA, then we'll do Raider. But NVIDIA, good move up. But look at the NASDAQ. Started to go to the downside here today, then bounced. Where did we bounce off of? 401. Okay, yesterday's level held earlier. So for tomorrow, let's look to see if we can get a 405 hold or so for the NASDAQ. I really think this is a good possibility. We had that dip earlier on. Now we will wait until January 31st. What do we have coming up on Friday, CPI? Thursday coming. Perfect. We're going to get it earlier. Thursday, we'll find out where the Qs are going to go from there. Do we take out all-time highs again up to 414? I say yes. The thing about it is, if we get a better number on Thursday and the market rallies, what do the Fed really need to do? That's the reason why I think this dot plot could change. Why has the market priced in 6 rate decreases? Could be a little heavy on that front. We will find out. Oh my gosh, do I not have, where is tonight's thing? Okay, hold on, I gotta reload our stream here because I wanna see how many people are rocking with us right now. The afternoon show. We have over 2,700 tuned in right now. Over 600 likes. Let's get it going, guys. Let's get it more to the upside. Who's here with me, man? It's Mikhail. It's Bears versus Bulls. Have a good evening, BKM trader. Where are you going, my guy? We've got a big show ahead of us right now. Yo, it's Ian David. It's Neil MacArthur. What's up? What's up to D-Loaf? Hey, we're in a good mood. What's up to everybody? Did you know that we had the bottom and the top today of a couple different names, including NVIDIA and AMD? Do you want to talk about that? What's up to Rich Naples? What's up to Tom's Trades? Softy, high of day. We love Softy. D-Loaf, he ain't ever going to leave, baby. Thank you, D-Loaf. I like that. I like that. Pierre, I don't see you before. Bonjour from Naples, Florida. You're speaking French in Naples, Florida, my guy? I like it, man. Hey, you know what those guys are called, Brendo? They're called snowbirds. What's up, my guy? I hope I can join you over there as well. What's up, Randall? Hey, man, I'm going to be a snowbird by the time I'm 50. How about that? This show, the market recap show, only has 6 more years in it. Okay, because I'm out of here at 50. Bob Stewart, what's up? Tops and bottom, Jim Gordon. Okay, you want to talk about some tops and bottoms? Let's, oh, first of all, I ain't minimizing that chat. No way. Let me put this chat over here. I got to see who's with us right now. What's up, Mr. Love Shack? Hey, man, it's a Love Shack. And it's the B-52s, baby, and it's Mr. Love Shack is in the building. Shout out to my lovely mother who was like a huge fan of the B-52s and Love Shack. And that song was like part of everything for me growing up. You don't think we have the tops and bottoms? Well, you're right. We do not have the top or the bottom. Well, we have the bottom. Look at all these bottom picks. This was a sticky note trade brought to you by yours truly. Check this out, what we put on the sticky note today. And if you're just joining for the first time and you're like, why the hell does this guy keep talking about sticky note? Because it's the best resource right now on the web. And guess what? It's free for now. And maybe forever. NVIDIA long 520. Look to stay long. Why for a key area? Look at this. Wait to see it. If we can find a base, then hammer time. Shout out to MC Hammer. Hopefully you don't have those hammer pants on. This is exactly what we did. And unfortunately, we have all these wicks. But look at this. Did we ever base out there at 518? Look at the longs we have. We have to the chart. Thank you. 518, they're working on Raider Trader. I see. Can I borrow? Can I take this screen? I got to see this guy if he's here. What we're going to be talking about soon. Okay, so there's NVIDIA right now at 518, 520. Look where we got out. There's the last print, 539. But look at the drop down in NVIDIA. The minute we took 540 in the 50-period moving average, it was an easy one. Hey, if you got $19 in your pocket per share, might be worth taking. Look at this trade also, AMD. And again, it's all about this. It's all about that base, right? Follow your plan. Take the long names, NVIDIA and AMD. Neil highlighted earlier, there was weakness and darkness in a lot of these other stocks. We had the very bottom of this, and this is the one that we had top on. Look at that, man. 149.70 as our out. Sure, we get to as high as 149.86. But we were long down here at 146, 145. That's another three bagger on that one. Three bagger normally means times 3, but it wasn't. $3 on that play. Just reviewing some of these trades today, as we don't have too many earnings to come through at all. At the end of the day, we shorted Coinbase. That trade did not work out. Well, it was fine. I mean, it's fine. It went back and forth. We had to get out on those stupid imbalances, and look what happens. Now we come right back in. I believe Coinbase is finite. Like this short right here, this is really where the short should have happened. I got a little bit greedy and waited for that bottom wick. We should have shorted 152.70. If we did that, that's $1.30 worth of a trade. And anybody that's rocking with me right now, and you probably haven't talked for 6 straight hours, or I did have a break in between. Regardless, it's Hydration Nation. Take a sip. Not to be complaining, but I haven't seen... Hey guys, what's up? I see Raider Trader over there. My guy's not in a suit today. I don't know what happened, man. What happened today? A little bit of a rough day out there in the markets, my guy? No, we're just playing around. All right, need to trademark the sticky note. You may be right, Mr. Westermeyer. We could be doing that. And actually, shout out to Fabian. We do normally have a trademark on that sticky note. So we do already have that good idea. All right, just real quickly, guys, back to some sector strength here. Let's just look at some quick sectors. Okay, gold today flat. I don't know if gold's going to work in this environment. If we continue to sort of wonder about what the Fed's going to do, I feel like keep your sort of cards close on gold. I think it's fine for a hedge. I've never been a believer in investing in gold. Doesn't move enough for a guy like this. OIH today. Oil downside. Look at OIH looking to break lower here. This is very, very dangerous. Oil services. We had Mr. Michael Noss. He liked Valero. He thought Valero was kind of coiling up here with the potential to break. Look out for Valero back up to the upside. It's the retail sector today as well, down 1%. Still real healthy on the daily chart. I feel like there's a lot of names that could slip up. I know Sharif and Neil have been talking about long XLF. For me, I feel like the trade is missed, and we have big events coming on Friday. That's what it was. That was another note I wanted to talk about. Bank earnings, they're on deck right now, coming out on Friday. You've seen a 40% move in Citigroup. Like, let's just look at this chart. Is this what Citigroup should be doing? Really, from the October lows of $38 right up to $55, this seems way too aggressive. They're gonna have to smoke earnings. Like if I owned this stock and they did not take out $55 on their report on Friday, it's a sell the news event, baby. I think earnings is downside on all of these names. JP Morgan, just prove it. That's all. It's shut up and prove it in the financial sector. It's a monster move up. Congratulations. We had a complete turnabout face with Jerome Powell. Oh, by the way, I don't have it on here. Can Powell give me a call right now? Let's see if he can do that, because we do not have this bottom coming out too often. Now we have a top. Let me just expand quickly on the weekly call, just real quickly on this. Let's see where we are. Looky what we see right here. Are we topping out on a weekly or what? On JP Morgan, be very, very careful. Look at XLF, not there quite yet. Could find some relative value in XLF if you so choose. There he is right now. Jerome. What a tease, what a tease. All right, SMH possibly falling down as well, man. The semis, this is what we're waiting for. We're waiting for a move back into this level so we can buy more. The last time we bought this was this dip buy opportunity in SMH, down to 137 and change. That's what we bought last time. That's what we're buying right now. I want to say a big thank you to everybody that's joining us right now live. We are now streaming live on Twitter. So we're everywhere, baby. Here we go. This handsome gentleman about to join me very, very soon. It's Raider Trader. I don't see the stream live on Twitter. I'm just going to assume that we are. Take my word for it right now. Okay, UNG, XLP, and the NASDAQ. What else do we want to talk about? What about the relative weakness in the SPY? Today, the spiders fall down a bit. Maybe XLI, what are industrials up to? Industrials falling again a little bit. But again, every single market pretty much worldwide beside China, Bitcoin ETFs are just been approved. We just heard that from Brendo. BITO maybe. But again, which Bitcoin ETFs? Look at this. There we go. We know exactly where to go. It's BITO making that move up to the upside. This is the ProShares strategy. Bitcoin ETF is off to the races right now. So there you go. You get it live right now. Let's check out the biggest and the baddest of them all. What is Macy's doing? Macy's. We're going to go to Mara. There it goes. Mara with a nice upside move. Now remember, guys, come over to me. I want to talk to the people one-to-one here. Just because the Bitcoin ETF or ETFs, if you ever hear about the number, I think there was 12 applications. We'll find out how many got approved. I don't know why this would rally Mara, for example. Blanket. Okay, so they're approving the idea. We'll wait to hear more names as Brendan's digging here. As traders stay late, and Brendan's here as well. So we thank you for that as we get more news. Oh, this show is brought to you by Benzinga Pro. Why not go over here? Here's a story right here. Hey, who's this handsome gentleman right now? Gary. What's up, Gary? SEC posts right there. There it is, Bitcoin with the pop right now as well. If they can go to that screen, that'd be great. Here's Bitcoin. Actually, I have it right now. There it is right here. I got it, Brendo. Bitcoin 47 and change, starting to rip up to the upside. Bitcoin starting to go. We'll hear, hey, Raider Trader, if you're listening, let's get an opinion on Bitcoin if you have one. Nice move up to the upside. All the young kids trade crypto, right? We'll see about this guy. Nice move, 47.5, starting to go back up to the upside. Let's read the exact quote. SEC grants approval for Bitcoin ETFs listing on all registered national securities exchanges. The approved Bitcoin ETFs will be subject to ongoing surveillance. Please and thank you for that one, and compliance measures to ensure continued investors' protection. So there it is right now. We finally got it. It's all good, baby, as we get ready to do that. Maybe we'll tweet it out right there. Let's post that right now, and we'll tweet that out so everybody watching can see it. It is now approved, and if you didn't know what Gary Gensler looks like, there it is right there. So a nice pop-up. You want to say something, or? Okay, so here's the Bitcoin chart again. We're going to call up on our friend in just a second here, but that's kind of late breaking news there. It's the Bitcoin ETF. Look at Mara. Hey, I just said, I don't know if this is good news for Mara or not. Here's the Bitcoin chart. You're seeing there a nice top tick of 48,000. Bring it back down to 47,000. All right, if we're ready, I'm ready. Are we ready? He gone. He back. We're ready. If we can get an okay from him, is it good to go, Ramin? It's Trader Talk.
Sean.
We're back, baby. Thank you for joining me on late notice today. And that's one thing that
Absolutely.
I really have to respect that from you, man. I hit you up late. We had Brian Shannon. He was unable to come today, so I want to say thank you for that. And I'm trying to find a regular spot for you, so let's work on that as we go. Bitcoin and Coinbase. Earlier on today, guys, come over to my, I don't want to throw away from you. I just want to show Coinbase just real quickly. There's Coinbase to the downside. Your boy said we're shorting Coinbase. Bye-bye Coinbase. See you later. 156 down to 148. We're on one again, Raider Trader. There we go to the downside, and there goes Bitcoin cranking lower. Let me talk to this guy. All right, Andrew. What do we think about this? I sort of thought this could be a sell the news kind of event. It looks like that's happening right now to Bitcoin. You in anything here?
So as far as the cryptos and Bitcoin, so there's rumor on the street, and this is maybe a trust me, bro, maybe a not. But rumor on the street around the the little small talks is that coin is going to be added to the S&P 500 this year. Now, you didn't hear that from me, but if that is true, is the question of how much would that go up. Now, for me, with the crypto and the ETFs and stuff, there's a lot of hype around them, but ultimately, I think what's going to drive a growth in that industry is regulation from the government. I think if you're a firm, there's no reason why you're telling clients to invest large sums of money into, or even taking bets, whether derivatives or not, into the crypto market. So for me, honestly, crypto's kind of washed until the government gets involved. I know people don't like that, but it's needed for the security and growth of the industry. So I'm not touching crypto personally, but there's your Coinbase news for the day. So.
All right, I have something to tell you, bro. Do not trust that source, because I'll tell you why. Because you cannot be added to the S&P 500. This is all about education. You cannot be added to the S&P 500 until you have 5 straight quarters of EPS profitability. You know how many quarters they've had in a row?
Hey,
0.
It might happen. It might happen.
It might happen. They'd have to break the rules of the Constitution.
Hey, they said a Bitcoin ETF wouldn't happen. They said a crypto one wouldn't happen. Man.
Aggressive call. Okay, what a great move, man. NVDA AMD, man, these stocks continue to be super, super hot. Like, I don't know if you were in any of those names today. Maybe you could discuss if there was a trade that you had on or something that's setting up that you possibly like, because we've been nailing, man. We had 500 long yesterday in NVIDIA. We only took 12.50. Today we got $20 on it from the long at 520. Continues to work. It's NVIDIA. I wonder if some steam's coming out of this name. I don't know if you have any opinions on this, but what can you tell us about maybe some of these chip names? What are your thoughts as we head into the January 31st Fed meeting?
Sure. So as far as the chip names, personally, what I'm looking at now, I do read the option flow a lot. It's a strategy I have, a way of analysis. It's very complex, and then the way I was taught it. But if you want to share my screen right now,
sure.
This was a trade that I saw coming in today. Now, obviously, this is a very volatile market. We're going to talk about that in a second. But as far as when you're reading option flow, you want to look at certain orders that are very intelligent. And this one right here was essentially a double leverage trade to the somewhat of a spread. And what he's trying to do here is basically he's betting on the downside. And so when you see something like this, it is a sympathy trade. It is a scapegoat. It is a, I want to short this because I don't want to short these other names. And so he's going for MRVL. So I actually followed him. So over the next few weeks, 2 weeks or so, I got contracts for these. I am actually short semis. But going into that, with that said, I'm not going to touch NVIDIA. I'm not going to touch AMD. And I believe this trader is doing the same thing. So that's what I did. I did not grab the exact same contracts as this guy, but it is a way of analysis in betting mechanically what these guys are trying to bet on and seeing these other orders come in, because there is a mechanical response to them, both from the balancing side of market making and all that complicated stuff, but also, catching other strategies. But yeah, that's as far as semis. I wouldn't short NVIDIA. I think that thing is still in distribution, and does it have another $100 in it? Probably not. But yeah, it's not a touch for me right now.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was actually talking about potentially getting out of some of the NVIDIA longs that we had even in our long-term portfolio, just to see about getting a better price. I mean, sometimes when you get these parabolic moves to the upside, it's worth getting at. And I don't even know if we've gone parabolic yet, man. I mean, there's still a lot to happen here. And I do like the shorting the weaker names, right? Find a name that's maybe not performing as well. I like that Marvell, and we'll wait for earnings on that one as well. Okay, you talked about a complicated strategy with options. Is that generally where you'll make your trades, is with options, or do you ever look and hold any equity, maybe hedging yourself against some of these plays, or do you just straight look at option plays like the one you just gave us?
So as far as like my strategy and the way I was taught, derivatives are the most powerful assets in the world from an informational standpoint and a leverage standpoint. So what I mean by that is, if you learn the options market and you learn how to read it properly, option flow, chain imbalances, and many of you might not know what this is, but market makers balance the markets based off derivatives. It used to be that derivatives were just a product of the equity markets. But nowadays, with how powerful derivatives are getting and how frequently they're traded, markets are balancing the equity markets around the derivative markets because of the leverage. And so knowing how to do that, you can position correctly and catch some really good trades. And that's kind of last year, if you remember me on here talking about the October 350 bottom, that was all based off of the put walls and them stacking the extremely high open interest levels off of those. So it's as simple as that, going through, seeing what that is. There's a lot more depth to it, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I do that a lot. No equity trading with that, just following with my own contracts, different contracts, and seeing where I can play around these guys.
All right, I'm on the other side now. Normally it's the other way around. This is really trippy to me on the live stream right now, as these guys are getting pretty creative coming through again. Okay, look, we had a trust me bro moment with that bottom that you just talked about there. You came on a week ago or 2 weeks ago and talked about potentially something happening heading into or after the January 31st rate announcement. Okay? So there's been some questions about what exactly is this kid talking about. I'm going to give you, if you want to, if you want to sort of explain what your rationale is and maybe what you're looking for. And again, you don't have to be right. I mean, what we're doing in trading is we're trying to stack the odds in our favor, understand why we like something and what the reasoning is behind it. So I'm going to open it up, and we do share screens, so if anytime, it'll be right there. I see you have it all marked up, so I'm going to give you the floor to explain. And by the way, guys, I agree with this gentleman. I think we could have a little downside move, but let's explain why, Raider.
All right, so first of all, as we talk about coming into the expectations of this year, I have taken an 80% bearish and 20% bullish spread. Now, what that means is I'm just basically 80% short and I'm going 20% long of that 2 hedge. Now, what that means is I'm taking a balanced position because I want to get a good entry. You don't just take a raw, naked position, as they call it. Don't get naked on stream. It's not a good idea. But you don't want to do that coming into something because it helps you with your entry. It gives you some slack. But essentially, what this year is going now, whether it is, whether it turns out to be a Fed event, like I said, with them surprisingly, raising or even keeping it higher for longer, the seasonals tell us that events happen around this time. Silicon Valley Bank, all these things happen due to a seasonal event. Now, can you see this right here? I think you can, right?
Yep.
Okay, so if I show you this right here, which is a screenshot of the seasonals provided by Season AX, not sponsored, I just used their platform. Okay. Right here, this is the seasonal chart, and you should see, based off of this, that you typically bottom in March. We all know this, bottom in March, October. These are the seasonal periods. If you would have traded this year, you would have done very, very well into late October if you did do that. Now, you remember Silicon Valley Bank. When did they liquidate? Oh, that's convenient. I think it was March of what, 2022? Yep. Something like that, February. So these liquidity events happen the same time every year, just about. Now, what they are, how they happen, we don't care. We just want to be positioned as traders. So for me, I'm positioning this week and next past January 19th into March of 15th for 9-10% decline. I think no matter what happens though this year, we are not going to have this crazy market crash like everyone is predicting. We will have a drawdown. And this being a bear year, 2024 being a calendar bear year, I think the downside trades are going to be the better ones than the upside. Now, does that mean we close green or red? Doesn't matter. What means is the better trades are going to be to the downside with the speed and velocity and the payouts that happen. So that's that. That is the trust me, bro scenario. But if something happens into February, we said after January 19th, don't tell anyone that I told you, but I'll be here with you guys.
Hey man, honestly, Andrew, let's just tell everybody. I mean, whatever, man.
Heck yeah,
man. Let's not keep it a secret. And hey, if you're like me, you want to get credit when you make the right calls. You know what I'm saying? So let's just do that. And we put our money where our mouth is. That's the whole point, right?
That's right.
It's about putting the odds in your favor and forever in your favor. You watch Hunger Games or not really?
Oh, I watched all the movies. Yes.
All right. And I read Give me your favorite. What's your favorite movie? What's one of your favorite movies?
So one of my favorite movies actually recently, Oppenheimer, and I really, 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 really love the Top Gun series. I'm like I love Tom Cruise. The recent one was just, it was really good.
Tom Cruise, I like that. What about Mission Impossible?
Mission Impossible is good. I just think, eventually you just got to say, well, if Tom Cruise is in the movie, then how is it not possible, right? So anyway.
I didn't like one of the ones where, I forget, it's more of a drama one where they had to wear those masks. What was that called? You're too.
Masquerade. Okay, but Sean, I have to announce the new nickname for the Mag 7. Yep.
I'm ready.
This year, the Mag 7 is officially going to be called in the Traders Playbook, the Lag 7. Okay. If you're looking for shorts this year, the laggers will be the mega caps. Look at Microsoft, look at Apple. You're already starting to see Apple go. Look to short the mega caps this year. That is going to be a theme, and you guys are going to thank me later, okay? IWM, do not short small caps. Small caps we expect to actually go climb towards the all-time high this year, but mega caps will be the weaker name. So the Lag 7 are now in town.
I don't mind that. I do not mind that at all. The Lag 7. That's a good one, man. We teased it a little bit. I like it. I thought maybe you're going to throw a couple of them out and say like the Fab 5 or something like that, but we'll go Lag 7. Give me the worst one out of all 7. For me, I would actually tend to lean on Apple, to be honest with you. I just don't see any catalysts there. They're not rebranding the iPhone. It's all the same kind of stuff. For me, it would be Apple. Are we on the same page with that?
As far as that, I mean, I would love to say I'm going to short Apple, but every financial firm and institution, their mom has the, Warren Buffett and commandments on their desk. Buy Apple, buy Apple, buy Apple. But as far as what I'm going to be looking for, the ones that haven't moved, and I think will continue to do, get the breakdown are Microsoft, Possibly NVIDIA if it does get there, but again, I don't want to touch that, and Amazon. Those are going to be the ones I'm going to be looking at.
Lots on there. All right, Andrew, they can go find you at RaiderTrader101 on Twitter, or on X, I guess we're calling it that. And then, of course, at RaiderTrader on Instagram. The handles are at the bottom. Again, thank you so much for coming through for us. And
I wanted to say, the reason I didn't have a suit on today is I got fired by RaiderTrader, so I'm no longer working for him.
Yeah, okay. Don't ever wear a suit, man. I mean, let's be casual. Let's be relaxed. You looked fantastic, though.
Yeah, I got demoted, though. I just wanted to let you know that. He fired me.
Okay, well, if you ever need a job, send me a message, and I'm sure we can figure something out. But again, thank you so much, Andrew, for coming by again, a friend of the family. It's Raider Trader. Ciao, and good luck with everything, my guy.
See you guys.
Thank you. It's Trader Talk. All right, thank you for that, Mr. Andrew. And again, that's the whole point, is that it's always about having conviction. That guy has conviction. Every single person we have on this show is going to be a real trader. That's not true of anywhere else that you see, man. These are going to be people that are going to post their ideas and back them up with more and more facts and just give it to you. I like that seasonal look there. It's Raider Trader. Thank you so much. And someone just said, man, how is this guy tweeting out while interviewing? We're doing it all. That's what we're doing. Coinbase, nice move down with the biggest news of the day, and we just tweeted it out right now again, and that was right here. SEC grants approval for the Bitcoin ETFs, all national registered securities exchanges. So that's there right now. We're going to watch out if that can go. And then I just tweeted Coinbase hit a little bit on this news. Whether or not it's hit, I mean, this is, talk about undetermined areas right now. Not some support, not some resistance. We're going to watch out for tomorrow. Hopefully, guys, we can come in tomorrow, have a little bit of negativity, and smash this 147 short, man. Let me just check out what's happening with Mara again. See, look at this. The same indecisiveness happening with Mara right now as well, as that goes back and forth. All right, that's that. What else you want to talk about? Sean's tweets. Let's go real quick, man. Again, a big thank you for Andrew for coming through. Let's go see what this guy was tweeting earlier today. All right, what was I tweeting? Oh, yeah, DJ Khaled, man. Eventually, this guy's going to retweet something, right? But that's another one with AMD bottom to top. Can't do better than that. Let's go on something else. This is interesting to me. Apple lost more than $164 billion in value. Do you know there's not even a company reporting today that's worth more than $20 billion, okay? Apple lost 164 in 3 days to start the day, right? And here we go. They've not, and the whole point is this, is they're not necessarily very good in the first couple of days here to start the year, right? So, but by far its largest hit. Now that's just because of scale. You know, like when Apple lost 52 billion in 2016, you know, that was probably more than what it was doing right now at 164. But I just want to show you, it's been known to do this. Let's not get too crazy about all this. And right now, this is another thing that I thought was pretty interesting. Apple and Microsoft, the value's getting closer, both under 3 trillion now, as we get really, really close to match up right now, Apple and Microsoft. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. That was one of my tweets. The other tweet that you can go find out this, and guess what I responded to this? Patience pays, literally. Warren Buffett's longest held stocks. Fabian, where's it? Oh, it's only Ramin. Never ask a lady how old she is. Apple, Coca-Cola, 35 years this dude's held it for. When I was 7, Warren Buffett, for 45, 7, oh no. When I was 9, damn, I'm too old. Warren Buffett started buying Coca-Cola. He's holding American Express for 32 damn years. Apple, why don't I see Apple on here? Apple, 7 years. I guess that's not that long. I thought that must be a misprint. He's held Apple for longer than 7 years, no? Anyways, 7, 8, it just goes to show you. I just thought this was really important because on today, the big thing that helped me out here was this word right here. Patient, when I'm not a... I hate this word because it's like I feel like I'm a patient in a hospital, but it's about being patient and have patience, you see, right there. But being patient today with NVIDIA. All right, man, whenever it's past time, I get those evil stares, and we got to get ready to rock and roll. So what else do you have to talk about? Roll call. Let's do that real quick. I ain't going to fail on anybody. It's roll call. Look, man, thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you do follow me at Trader TV Sean. I'm doing this for you. You know, I think maybe we'll rotate. Maybe we can go a week me, a week Neil, something like that. If you guys want to, I think we could probably work out that. Let me know if you like that. What's up, Benton? SEC Twitter account has been hacked. Okay. So watch out for that. Thank you, Benton. Good heads up. So watch out for that. Unless they're talking about the Bitcoin ETF. I mean, I can just double check that. Let me just go over here quickly to see if that is something there. Yeah, I don't. So here's Benzinga. SEC was compromised. Tweet was posted. The SEC. Oh. Okay, let's tweet this out. You are correct. The SEC government Twitter account. Thanks, Brendo. Fake. Yeah, Brendan confirming. Brendan's working overtime as well. Oh, damn. Okay, well, all that analysis about Coinbase going to the downside, it don't matter, man. We know I mean, look, I just think Coinbase goes down regardless, but thank you so much for that. It is hard to do this live. I'm interviewing, nothing in the ear, but thank you so much for that. I'm glad I noticed that. That's on me, but you know, that's why we're doing this live. Bitcoin right now as well, making the move to the downside. So, okay, thank you so much. Great show as usual. Thank you, Dr. Strange. Thank you, Bob W. Yeah, finally, I apologize. Unfortunately, unless someone can get that to me a little bit earlier, I can't see it. I'm doing too much. But anyways, never mind. Buy the rumor. Yeah, exactly. So we'll just wait for it. The market is manipulated. We all know that. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me, guys, again. I want to give a big shout out to Andrew Rader, man. He came on very, very late notice. I want to thank you for that. And we still had a great segment. So look, today was a wild day. All I can say to everybody is thank you so much. Make sure you check out the sticky note every single day, as we're just going to have more and more ideas for you. And look, man, everybody's staying late. We still have over 2,000 watching. That's incredible. I just want to thank everybody for that. It really means a lot to me and to everybody here at Trader TV Live that you have continued to support the channel. You're supporting the podcast. You're supporting the recap show. We have a great educational segment happening every single day at 11. I really care. We all care a lot about this business. And if you're a trader, you're now rocking with the best show. It's Trader TV Live. I want to thank everybody for continuing to support it. So thank you to Ramin for staying late. Thank you to everybody. I'm sorry I didn't have that Bitcoin information a little bit earlier. I'll do better. Thank you so much, and I'll see you tomorrow at 8:30. Ciao.